Hello, everyone. Hello, Args. Good, man. How are you? It is. It is indeed. We are back 8 rounds tonight with some old friends, but also some new players as well. Yes, indeed. It is, yeah, completely overhauled the way we're going to do it. We're going to go back to, well, what would you call it, Args? Back to traditions or back to basics, aren't we?
Look, typical, isn't it?
I will. I'm going to check. Can everybody hear Argsy in my stream? All right. Typical indeed. Right, I'll mute Args while he's sorting his sound out. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. Great to have you all here. This should be quite good fun. We're looking forward to this. I'll let Argsy sort his stuff out, and then we can. Yeah, we could hear him here. I don't think he could hear it on his stream. So something. I think it's just tweaking something at his end. So we'll let him sort that out quickly, and then we'll get started. So yeah, as we were saying, I'm listening to Args as well in the background here. As I was saying, we've kind of gone back to basics here a little bit. We're ditching the containers and we're going back to good old-fashioned load your trucks. So it kind of opens up a little bit more jeopardy, a few, I guess, more unknowns, a few more anomalies. So there's a few other challenges. I'll wait for Argsy to come back.
Hello.
And,
right, I think we're good now.
Detail. Right, we're good. Let's turn Args back on. He says he's good.
I think
we
I'm
can
good.
hear you, Args.
Yes, I'm getting bars and everything like that. I just need someone in chat to say, yes, we can hear you. Yes,
right, good.
So it's got me. Cool. All right, we're in.
Excellent.
It wouldn't be a live stream without
some audio. Would it be Logging
audio.
League without teething problems?
That's right. That's it. So,
right, okay.
What do you want to go through first?
Yeah, I was just saying we've kind of gone back to basics a little bit, and we're talking about basically the fact that we've introduced a little bit more randomness, a little bit more jeopardy. The fact that instead of loading containers, so we know there's a maximum number of logs you can put into a container. Now they're just going to be loading logging trailers. They're capped at 10 minutes, and if you go over the 10 minutes, the penalties are so high that it's probably not worth it. I mean, you can creep over by a few seconds, but actually beyond that, I think you are shooting yourself in the foot a bit, aren't you? So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. It will be very interesting. And we've updated the timer that we have in the top corner and got that all set up now. So you will see that will count down from 10 rather than counting up like it was previously. Get to that right. 0 and then the penalties will apply. So it'll be interesting to see how the teams time it all.
It will. And you can run over by 2 minutes, can't you? And like I said, the penalties are pretty high for that. But after 2 extra minutes, you are disqualified.
Effectively, yes, it'll be a DNF.
Yeah. So. Because we when we did our test event, people just
they did.
They just ignored the timer. Yeah. So we've made it a little bit more challenging from that perspective. But it's going to be good fun, I think.
It should be. I'm just having a few login issues with a couple of the players for Team Modern Logging. So the first matchup is our Team Esports versus the Meisters. I did say Team Modern Logging, but it's the Meisters.
That's right. I'm going to pull this up here. So Power Team Esports, that's Valo, El Pepito, and Jeremy Agri, who is new this year. Obviously, Valo and El Pepito back from last time. And the Meisters, Tobias, Schiffelmeister, and Faban, you will probably remember from Season 1 as well. So nice to see them back.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll be going straight from this game into a second team match, which will be the Pinnacle Loggers versus Modern Logging. Which will be good. So we've got 5 teams entered in here at the moment. Astron are our 5th team for tonight, and I think we've actually got a 6th team who weren't available tonight, so we'll hopefully see them in some future rounds.
You want to talk about the map, Args, quickly? And we've got 4 locations on the map.
Yeah, of course we can. I'll just bring the map up and we can have a look at that. So we are over on the on the bottom left corner. instead of going up to the sell point up the top, which is what we used previously, the sawmill, Hamish has actually created a couple of sell points. One down the bottom here, which is next to the roller coaster, and then one up here off on the right, which is next to the gas station. So depending on which match will depend on where you're going. And then you can see scattered across, there's the equipment up here. That's one of the match points. We've got some in the middle here, and then some over here on the right. So that is how things are shaping up. I've got a frog in my throat.
Right, so first game, we are just waiting for, I think Faban is just getting organised, logging in, and then we will get started. But as we said, we've not marked out, so in the last series, or last season, we accurately measured out playing areas, hadn't we, Args? But now it is just a free-for-all with the trees that are on the map, which again will add another little level of intrigue and interest, I think.
Right. Yes, that's it. 100%. Now, Hamish is just saying in chat that we're going to move and skip Heat 1 to start with. We're actually going to jump across to Heat 2, that Pinnacle Loggers versus Modern Logging, just to give Faban a chance to try and log in. So we will go and find where they are.
So we'll jump over to a different start point over here. But that Pinnacle Loggers is our winners, indeed, from last season.
Yes,
Kegarino Gaming with James and Sharp Farmer. And they'll be playing Modern Logging, who I think, again, gave a pretty good showing in Season 1. So they're back for more. They're back for revenge.
That's right, that's right. I see a few comments in your chat that my mic sounds weird. That might be a Discord connection issue. So just have to, hopefully it'll sort itself out.
It's breaking up a lot. That's interesting, because I can hear you nice and clear. Argsy's underwater.
It is strange that if you can hear me nice and clear in Discord,
you're crystal in my ears. You're crystal.
Yeah, that's strange. Strange.
They're saying you sound like you're underwater, but I think they might be just having a dig.
Yeah, it might be a bit of a dare I say a piss take there. Right. I think it might have been my voice, honestly. It felt like it was going to pop there for a second. So, Faban's here, so what are we going to do? We'll just wait for Hamish to tell us what we're going to do here with this match.
This is staging point 2. You'll see this a few times in this stream, but as you can see, they've allocated their equipment ahead of the start of the stream. So they've picked the equipment that they want to use. The trucks are parked elsewhere on the map, so the truck drivers will have the opportunity to drive those over whilst they start cutting things down. But it is. Right. I'm looking forward to this. I'm excited to see how people are going to handle this. It's going to be good.
It will be. Always has been a fun adventure to see what goes on. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Indeed.
Right.
We've got confirmation your voice sounds better now, Args.
Oh, that's good.
I've had a little bit of a lag spike or something.
Yeah, that's good. Welcome along everyone who is in chat in both mine and FSG's streams. Of course, if you want to see from different perspectives, we always suggest bring both streams up, mute one, and have them open side by side, and you can kind of get both angles, because often we'll cover different things. One of us will follow a truck to a sell point. It'll be interesting actually, because with the timed nature of it, we should see teams kind of mirroring each other maybe a little bit more, or one gambling on having a chance to load one extra log in and still have time to get there. So it's looking a little bit different.
You're right. I think there'll be a lot more watching of other teams and what other teams are doing, and reacting almost real time to make sure that crossing the line first is going to be quite high up the agenda, because it's going to be interesting to see how many trees difference there will be.
That's right. I just got.
We just don't know how this is going to go, if I'm being honest, do we, Args?
No, not really.
This is kind of a complete reset.
Yes.
So it will be good.
Yes.
It'll be good to see.
Right, we're just waiting for confirmation of which match we're going to have and which teams we're going to be running with. But I just wanted to acknowledge Carl TG Modding is in chat now. He's made quite a few forestry-based maps, and I think we've got a couple of them on the list of potential maps we might do the future rounds in. So that's another change for this season. We're not going to be on SilverRun Forest the whole time around. We are going to jump around between different maps just to provide a bit of different context, freshen things up for each round. So We have a list of, I think we had about 20 maps that we'd shortlisted, and we will go through and pick those for the next 3 or 4 rounds.
Right, we're going back over to, we're going to start with Heat 1.
All right, we're doing an aerial tour of SilverRun Forest.
Right. Teams are ready. You can see Valo and Obelix there, and Faban and Tobias ready to go. Truck drivers are elsewhere on the map. They will be making their way down to here. So this is our staging area, and like I said, they've got the choices of where they go from here. There are no predefined number of trees or little areas where they can work. They have the whole map available to them. So they didn't know that before tonight. So it's this is new to them. So there's been no training. There's been no preseason training or anything like that. So that shall add another element of intrigue as well, I think.
Yeah, you're 100% right. It's going to be interesting to see where they go. There's obviously more space, but there's the trade-off is how far do you drive to try and get trees? Do you pick out the biggest ones so you're cutting down less trees and trying to get the better quality wood on the back of the truck? There's a whole lot of different parameters, I suppose, that are going to play out with this.
That's right. That's right. A couple of thank yous as well, Args. I think while we're waiting as well, we should say a big thank you to Hamish, shouldn't we? Again,
yep.
Bossing it in the background, keeping everything ticking over. It's an incredibly difficult job and a lot of moving parts, and he does a great job with it.
Yep.
So big shout out to Hamish, and the other one is a big shout out to the guys at Thrustmaster who are back to support us for a second season with prizes. So
that's right.
Thank you, Thrustmaster, as well.
Yeah, they haven't quite given me a partnership, but I'll take just having their support here for the logging league. But that was pretty cool for you to get that. Congrats, mate. That was awesome as well.
Thank
but
you,
yes,
mate. No.
Nice to have them back here for 2024 season 2. Right, we're underway.
And
we're logging.
We are go. So let's see what happens here.
That's right, now you should see the timer has started in the corner of our screens, and we're going to see Faban heading off and Valo heading off in the logging machines to get going. Now, interesting, I haven't really commented on it, but Tobias has got a forwarder there instead of using anything else, so be interesting to see how their logging goes, and we've already had a little bit of a battle over the first tree.
Indeed, yeah, interesting tactic, the having the loader there.
That's right.
Power Team Esports have found a little space there that, everybody went for the same tree, typically. All the trees on the map, they picked the same one.
That's it. But as it is, Power Team Esports have cut down the first tree, even if it is a smaller one than the one Faban is trying to cut down. And he has got that taken down and taken care of now as well. So I'm interested with Tobias in that loader there. Obviously, they've got trucks to take them to the sell point. I don't know what the top speed of that Rotney is, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be as quick as a truck. So, no,
they're just going to use that arm as a loader, or are they going to load the? I'm intrigued.
No, I'm intrigued as well. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm also interested to see how the teams handle the log lengths. Do they try and cut to the sort of optimal length, or do they just try and load as many logs as possible at a longer length and have them hanging over the back of the trailer?
Yeah. More volume, but maybe slightly different. I don't know. I can't remember the optimal price. I think 6.
Around 6 meters
is the optimal price, isn't it?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Tobias looking very adept already there with loading those logs into the back of the forwarder.
And the Power Team Esports guys, they've actually really working their way through these trees nice and quickly.
They are. I'm just going to bring the map up and see if we can see where the trucks are. They've actually taken 2 very different routes. One is these guys started up at the sawmill. One's kind of zigzagged through the middle of the map, and the other's gone all the way down to the bottom. And I think they're probably going to arrive here at about the same time. Just watching where they are on the map and how they have to get from A to B.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it looks like one of them is stuck. Actually, one of them's reversing. But you can see the other one coming just across the bridge there, about to join the fray.
Indeed. Now we're already
so interesting.
2.5 minutes through, already a quarter of the way through the challenge.
That's right. To that point, Args, I think everybody who's watching really pay attention to that timer in the corner. The timer in the corner is going to make things really interesting. It's going to, I think the game's obviously going to be a lot quicker than you saw last year, and a lot more decision making on the fly. So you've got to really consider how long you want to spend cutting down trees versus how much time you've got to get back to the sell points.
100%.
So,
and of course, the other difference here is that Power Team Esports and Astron Entertainment, for that fact, are used to having a time-based challenge from Farm Simulator League, whereas the other teams from last season, it was all just based on loading those containers up. So whether that will be an advantage for them in the future, we will just have to wait and see how it all plays out. There's also going to be more weight put on how neatly the trucks are loaded. We all know the challenge that can be loading a truck, and we're just seeing Jeremy for Power Team Esports has arrived here first.
Excellent. Power Team Esports, actually, Obelix has just used a tree. He butted up all of their cut logs against a tree, and he's managed to get every single log so far that they've cut into one load. So they are about to load up here with a pretty substantial amount of logs.
And he's done a pretty decent job, I must admit, of getting them into the back of the truck. That is not a bad start for them. And this is where what I was saying is, with the auto load container, those would have just been accepted and taken in, and it wouldn't have been a worry about the next ones. But you do have to think about the next load of logs and see what's going to happen there.
That's right. That's right. Now Meisters arrived here, so I'm intrigued to see this tactic of the guys, to see who is going to take on that truck. How they're going to load that truck now.
Indeed. Just keeping an eye there on the time, coming up on 5 minutes, so halfway through the challenge. Now these guys, I think they're taking the logs down to the new sell point down by the roller coaster. So not too far to go.
I mean, I guess they've got a choice, haven't they, Args? But you're right, that is the closest one. So I would be very surprised if they went anywhere else.
Power Team
so
Esports.
I think Tobias and the Logmeisters have decided that they could probably load their truck faster if everything's already arranged neatly on the back of the other trailer. So I can see them now loading from one into the other, which is an interesting tactic.
There we go. Hamish has just confirmed it is the sell point by the fuel station, so it is a little bit further away than the roller coaster one. A little bit more of a drive for the trucks.
Interesting. Good stuff.
So Carl's just asking in chat what... Sorry. Carry
Go
on.
ahead, Ox.
I was just going to say, Carl's just asking in chat what the winner's getting as a reward. Well, for today, it is all about points. It's about ranking points leading into the finals later in the year. But in the long run, we do have some prizes from Thrustmaster to provide to the winners. And you can probably talk a little bit more about what that might be.
That's right. Yeah, we haven't confirmed anything yet, but they have given us a prize pool. I think we'll be able to select certainly what we do. I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't some farm sticks this year, because obviously their new product that they're pushing. So, but we'll find out later in the season what will be coming up for the finals prizes.
Yep.
Right now, Power Team Esports have got, I would suggest, more logs on their truck, and probably slightly in the lead. They've got a few things that have fallen off and are sitting on the floor here, Args. So Obelix is just trying to tidy things up a little bit now. Struggling just a little bit, and this is again another challenge of loading. You've got to make sure they work on their trailer, which they didn't have to worry about last time.
That's right, but you certainly, I think you're 100% right. They have more logs. The Logmeister's load, Tobias, is really getting quite a neat load, and if we were awarding points for tidiness, they'd be winning hands down, but they've got a lot of logs on the ground, and I don't know how they're going to go getting those all on the back of the truck and delivered in time.
Yeah, and interestingly, they have they've gone for the 6 meter maximum optimal kind of price point, whereas the guys at Power Team Esports have gone for the longer logs. But they're out of here already, Args. They're heading to their sell point. So they are aware with 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, that they need to get out of there and see what they can sell. So let's see how this goes.
Interestingly enough, Obelix is still bringing more logs out. Is he going to run that wheel loaded down with a load of logs? It looks like he is. He's stopped in the middle. I don't think they have the chance to get down and get a load sold and back here, so Looks like he's just parking that there, hopefully not in the way.
Practicing.
That's it. Yeah, Valo's still going cutting, and Oblix is checking out what the neighbours are up to.
Now, interestingly as well, I can't remember what the penalties for failing to hit the 10-minute time window are quite high, aren't they?
$1,000. $1,000 every 10 seconds.
Yes.
So the potential penalties over the 2 minutes is $12,000 before you get disqualified. Yeah. So it does pay to be soon. And Schiffelmeister's on his way as well. He has left the arena and he is running down the road as well.
Just a minute and a half left. Now, like I said at the start, they did not know these courses before tonight, so they have not had a chance to practice how long this run to the sell point is. So they've had to take some guesstimates.
That's right.
So Jeremy just passing through the town. He's just past the shop now, and he's heading up the hill, very close to the finish point now. 1 minute left of normal time.
I'd like to think that the Logmeisters have judged it very well for their timing wise. We are getting past the big load of logs and almost down in town, so they're going to be cutting it pretty fine. We've got 45 seconds. See how they go. Now, the finish lines are between a couple of bales. They don't actually have to have sold it in the 10 minutes. It is just to get across a finish line. So there is a little bit of flexibility there. Obviously, there can be a little bit of a delay with selling, or if there's two trucks there trying to keep them separate and identify which is which, but not too far away now. 20 seconds.
So here we go. Power Team Esports and Jeremy just arriving. They are about to hit the finish line with 15 seconds of normal time remaining. So Jeremy over the line with the Power Team Esports truck. We have got 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. So we're in overtime now.
Yeah, Schiffelmeister's just coming across the bridge. And he's not too far away from the gas station, but I think they're going to be carrying about 30 seconds of penalties by the time he gets all the way up here.
Yeah, we can see the time has gone red now. So they'll swing in here. And then Hamish will take a little bit of time to do the calculations. We'll check out the scores, but
just on 25, 26
as a betting
seconds.
man, I would suggest that I think Power Team Esports might have just snuck this one.
I think, looking at the loads and looking at the logs, I think you might be right there. And so that could be an interesting to see the future developments, how the teams play things out as they learn more and more.
And I think you're right, Args. Yeah, as the first round, they're finding their feet a little bit here.
That's right.
So let's see.
Let's see, indeed.
Let's see what the scores are.
We'll be getting some instructions from Hamish on who's selling when, and we'll get these logs sold.
East Coast Farmer says the timer should should last 15 minutes, but equally we could not get as many games in. So it was a trade-off between games not taking too long versus making sure we got everybody the opportunity to play, because we have had a lot of entries this year, and we want to make sure everybody gets an opportunity.
Yeah, that's right, 100%. And I think you actually find sort of Farmsim League went from a 15-minute time down to only a 10-minute time now, and teams have had to adapt and learn with that. So it's the same for both teams. Just have to see here. Just heading over, I think there's a trigger for selling. So there is Schiffelmeisters sold for the Logmeisters. Just going to get Valo driving across now, and of course I'm on the director's farm, so I don't even see exactly what the values are for them.
That's right. But we'll do the calculations. Thank also to Mr. Mark Haythornthwaite, who has very kindly pulled together the timer, and behind the timer is a lot of clever calculations that work out what is what in terms of penalties and how they're applied as well. So huge shout out to you, Mark, for pulling that together.
Yep, 100%. All right, so there we go. Power Team Esports have sold, and we're now going to be waiting to get the final results. Farmer Hamish will be crunching the numbers, and as soon as he tells us, we will be able to jump over and take a look at those. But I'm just going to head up the hill here, because our next match will be right above the sell point here. start to have a little bit of a
say,
chat with
it's almost like Hamish planned this, isn't it? Yeah, you can see the equipment there in the trees, ready to go. So
right.
as soon as we've got our results here, we will jump in and we'll go with that.
Well, I think that's...
You may jump into chat.
Yes, you might. I think that was an interesting first match. I don't know what you think, but I'd like to say I'm not sure if the forwarder was the correct option there around getting as many logs in as quickly as possible.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? And hats off to them for trying a different tactic or trying something new. Like you say, whether or not it was right, we will soon find out.
That's right.
But let's see what the results tell us.
So just looking here at the equipment that we've got coming up for match number 2, very similar. They've both got the same tree processor there, but just a little bit different on the loader. We haven't seen the high lift loader yet either, FSG. It's
we haven't
been the grapples and the front loader there, just the normal grapple. So
yeah, no, interesting. Again, Kegarino, Sharp Farmer and Gaming with James are reigning champions, are current champions. So it'll be interesting to see how they adapt to the new setup as well.
That's right. And coming up against Modern Logging, one of our teams from last year. I think they've had a bit of a member change too, isn't it? Colby's a new member here for Modern Logging.
That's right. Yes, indeed. So, just waiting on the green light from Hamish. We can check the scores. And then we'll go from there. I've just realised my watermark on my stream is completely covering my face. I don't think I can change that, can I?
No, you'd have to turn it off and edit it stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been doing it.
I've got a face for radio anyway.
That would have been doing it all last season too then, wouldn't it? Or if they changed the size of the watermark.
Yeah, it does look bigger.
I can tell you that on tablet, because I've got it running on my tablet, I've got your stream up, it's there's not actually a watermark, so it might only be on PC anyhow.
Ah, okay. Right, while we wait, let's have a look at who else is playing in the trios this round. So there we go. Pinnacle Loggers versus Modern Logging will be coming up next. And then after that, we have got the Logmeisters back again for a second time versus Astron. And then Power Team Esports back for a second round against Modern Logging as well. Now, over the course of the season, Args, they're going to balance out, so everybody will have played the same number of games, won't they?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We'll certainly give everyone equal opportunity there and making sure that the league is fair and they've all had the same number of games. Right. And played each other the same amount of times, as equally as we can make that one.
That's right, yeah, indeed. I'm just going to check Discord here and see if we've got any info from Hamish. Still waiting, so... Oh, Farmer Hamish is typing. 1 minute. Results up. Right, okay, let's jump in and see what we've got. Results up.
All right.
There we go. So Power Team Esports. They sold $26,124 worth of logs with no penalties. So have won there. And Logmeisters only had $10,705. And they also received that $2,621 penalty. So their final profit, with to very many decimal points,
yes, it's accurate.
$8,083. So a quite resounding win there for the guys at Power Team Esports, which is awesome.
Yeah, they'll be very happy with that start to the season. I know they came in a little bit late last year and might have taken a while to get up to speed with the differences between logs and bales, but certainly they'll be very happy to start there out with a win. And I'm sure Logmeisters will be thinking about what their equipment decisions had to make Now, they won't be able to change those for the very next match, though. They're stuck with those for today's round. So they do have the chance to try and change some of those between the next one, though.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Okay. I think we're looking close to being ready for round 2 starting. So
that's right.
Hand over to Hamish for starters orders.
That's it. I'm not sure what Sharp Farmer's doing up here. If he's a truck driver, he's in the wrong spot. But we do have Colby Modern Logging with James Sim. Now, James Sim is Gaming with James from last season. Not a new player, but a different name. As well as Kigarino and Sharp Farmer there for the Pinnacle Loggers. And then Modern Logging, we have Modern Logging, Colby, and just have to remember who their third team member is. We'll just jump back into their Samu CH, of course.
Samu, yes.
And Colby has substituted in Farming Alex.
Hello chaps, sorry I might just break in for 2 seconds. We've had a bit of an issue with one of the team members on Modern Logging, so I just wanted to make you aware. We've had to put a substitute in. That'll be locally hated Slowpoke, who is just about to log in as we speak.
Roger that.
A bit of a last minute issue.
All right.
No worries at all.
Thank you, Hamish.
What a great name.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Right, we'll let him log in quickly.
He must be the truck driver.
No matter
with a name
how
like that.
smoothly and how much you plan this, you cannot account for dodgy connections to servers and things like that, can you? So
That's right. Availability, all of that kind of thing.
yeah, do bear with us. I'm quite impressed of the matching uniforms from everybody so far this year as well. I think there's some good effort going into getting sorted for
Yeah,
looking good.
They're presenting themselves nicely.
Are you repping the Logging League hoodie there in orange, Args?
I do, yep.
Yeah,
I've got the Logging League hoodie.
There we go. And a quite spectacular handlebar moustache as well. I like
I
that.
know, yeah. I've been working on that for quite some time now, and it's becoming a regular fixture. I just realised I didn't have the hat on though. But
That's right.
so we'll just
Bear
wait
with us just a second, folks.
a login. Yep.
Now, Hamish, I'm not sure if you're still in admin chat here, but can you confirm where we're going for the sell point for this one? I'm assuming we will be going and using the sell point down by the roller coaster this time, rather than the one that's literally on our doorstep. To add another element of jeopardy in.
Yeah, I think you're right with that. I'm pretty sure that was what was discussed earlier.
Yep.
Just over here admiring the stream. Some beautiful assets here in SilverRun Forest. It'd be nice to see these be able to be used by other modders and things like that to add to their maps.
That's right.
Beautiful little spot.
And to take this opportunity, as I haven't done it yet, to say hello to everyone in chat. Thanks for joining again, and thanks for supporting Logging League. It is much appreciated. As Jan says, remember to hit that like button. It all goes to helping not just the channel, but getting the name of Logging League out there, and hopefully getting it to grow.
Indeed. Assuming there might be a last minute equipment change possibly being made there.
It looks that way, doesn't it? I heard the ping of store deliveries.
Yep.
So there we go.
Yeah, no, sadly modders can't use them at the moment, Carl. It would be nice to be able to see those assets being available though. Hopefully in the future. Maybe if the speculation's rife around a new game later this year, maybe even in time to be used for the new version of the game. Often see assets like this are made available once the game's sort of retired or the next one's been released. So we might not be too far away from having that opportunity.
That's right. That's right.
Landfly, how you doing? Good to see you. Which model of Thrustmaster is the one for Farm Sim? So there's the Farm, the Sim Task Stick. which is their farming specific joystick, but also a lot of their joysticks will work. Actually, I've heard of people using others. Obviously, the T16,000s were one of the most popular ones before the farm stick. So
That's right. Yeah. Right, we are still in standby mode here, waiting for our replacement player to come in for the modern logging team. Had a little bit of a change at the last minute, to no fault of their own, so we are just waiting for confirmation of that, and then we will be good to go.
Just doing my best drone flying around the map.
I'm using my eSwap Thrustmaster controller.
Nice.
Product placement.
Ha, right. It looks like locally hated Slowpoke is logging in and joining us, so we'll be underway soon.
Here we go. And it's worth pointing out, isn't it, Argsy, all teams have a fourth member, and they can rotate as they see fit during the series and during the season, and there's no penalty or anything for that.
No.
Just allows people who, we all do this for fun in our spare time, so you can't always make every session. So it's nice to be able to have a stand-in for you if you can't make one week.
All right, we'll just let them get themselves familiarised with what they're doing and when they're going, and then we'll be in Hamish's capable control and ready to start. But the timer has been reset on the screen there.
Good to go. And remember, 10 minutes now. So the games are a lot shorter than you will see last year.
In saying that, we were seeing games.
Went into.
We had games. I was just going to say we had games under 10 minutes last season. We did have some finish under 10 minutes. So
we did indeed, yeah, we did indeed, and then we did a lot of working out of how long the game should take, trying to keep engagement up and interest from people watching as well. So that was how we landed on 10 minutes.
That's right.
Right, we're under starters orders. We are good to go. So on Hamish's countdown, we will get started.
Yep. Cheers, Carl. We'll catch you later, mate. Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in. Just as soon as Hamish is ready, we will be underway. Here we go. Countdown's coming. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Right. We are off.
Right.
Monologuing. Leaping.
He did. He was very quick out of the blocks.
And they are heading... What are they going to do? Well, he started going forward, and then I think he had a little bit of a change of mind. And actually, that change of mind gave Kegarino the chance to grab that nearby tree. I think Modern Logging was going for that same tree as well, and he's decided to head a little bit further down the valley. Looks like we might have to split on this one, Args.
Yeah.
Modern Logging hanging a long way away here.
They are. Kegarino's pulling the tree right out into the middle, giving it a good position, good spot there for James to be able to pick it up. Seeing there what length he's cutting it. It definitely looks like he's gone a little bit longer.
Modern Logging was going for one tree, and he's now switched to a different one. And just taking his first cut there, and they've got their first tree down.
It's funny, I could see that falling down in the background. Alright. It's worth pointing out while we're just here watching Kegarino, for anyone who's not familiar, Kegs has a muscular degenerative disease, and he's actually playing using a mouth controller, where he can manipulate with some pipes, he can blow air into them to control his equipment. So when you put that into context, and the fact that they are our reigning champions, it's a pretty impressive achievement.
It sure is. Right, Sharp Farmer has just arrived, Args. He's heading up the valley to you.
Alright. I can see him there. Not sure if James is quite aware where he is, because he's sort of just sitting in the middle. But
and Locally Hated has just arrived. With Modern Logging's truck as well. So he's just maneuvering into position. Modern logging has rolled his cutter though, but using the arm, he's straight back up.
Very fortunate. And James is, he had 3 logs in the grapple and he's managed to get 2 of them, and he dropped one too far across the back of the truck and went off the other side. So a little bit of a disadvantage there because he was well positioned and well ready to start loading logs into the truck. But let's just see how they go. We're already 2 minutes, or almost coming up on 2.5 minutes through this round.
Now, interestingly, modern logging have gone for longer logs here, Args. They're going for full length trees or not far off it. And Colby's just about to drop the first one into the trailer. So a few challenges here, but he's getting organised.
Right, James has been a little bit more careful here with the next load of logs. He's got that in. No, he's managed to grab one. It's just a little bit sticky on the grapple. But I'm sort of moving around a lot. Keggs is cutting trees down. Can't actually see where he's gone now. He's gone quite a way down the track, and they seem to be sort of picking trees on their way towards the sell point.
Oh, interesting tactic. Colby's got the first log. He's just about to work the second log in now.
Sharp Farmer's trying to get across the narrow wooden bridge here, and with the length of the truck and trailer they have chosen, it's actually finding it really difficult to maneuver because he was coming at it from a little bit of an angle, but it has given chance for James to pick up those 2 logs he dropped, and they're now on the back of the truck. And they are carrying on their way down the track, getting closer to the sell point, where Keggs has already got a few more low logs here ready to be loaded. So it's kind of a little bit of a sort of moving target here for them at the moment.
Interesting, and they're obviously thinking about this on the fly as well, because they wouldn't have known where that stuff was until just a few minutes before the stream went live.
Yeah, and I've been in the server for a little bit while the first round was on, so they probably had a chance to possibly have a little bit of a look around.
That's right.
Make a bit of a plan.
Make a few assumptions.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, over with the modern logging guys, Colby's just got another couple of very large trees on, so they are playing the volume game here, Args, going for max weight, I think. Even if it isn't as financially viable, they're going to just play the numbers game.
That's the advantage here with these trucks, is obviously the open bunk. You can sort of have a log hanging over the back as far as you like. James is doing a pretty good job at loading this truck. He's keeping it pretty neat and tidy, giving them every opportunity to get as many logs in as possible as we come up on the 5-minute mark. So we are halfway through this round. It'll be interesting to see how long they wait, how much time they're going to allow themselves to travel down to the sell point. I feel like we're a little bit closer, so maybe a minute, might be a minute's drive.
Yep, it is a slightly closer one, isn't it? Now, I've just watched Colby manhandle and almost flip 3 trees into the trailer in one go with a very deft move. Locally Hated is away, though. Locally Hated has decided to go with the 5 minutes on. Locally has headed off. Interesting. They're going early, Args.
That is interesting, especially if they're heading up. No, they're just watching your stream. They are going down the hill. Yeah, that's an interesting tactic.
I thought they could have probably got another log or 2 on. We've got just over 4 minutes left on the clock, but they are away. They're away to the sell point. So they are definitely wanting to avoid. They've seen from the first round the penalties that you receive. So they definitely want to avoid getting any penalties at all. Is it the right thing to do? Maybe trying for 2 runs, Mark Haythornthwaite has suggested as well. That is a good point.
That is,
possibly.
Yeah. That is a possibility. Although, to get down and back, if they had space in the truck, I'd be gambling on loading as much as I can, which is certainly what James and Sharp Farmer are doing. This is a very neat load of logs. I'm very impressed with what Pinnacle loggers here are putting together. The truck is just about full, though, so I'm not sure whether they're just going to go for this load. Keggs is still cutting down trees, but James and Sharp Farmer have been working together. It's almost been poetry. Sharp's moved forward and backwards to try and get better lined up with the loader, and yeah, this is a very neat load of logs.
Okay, locally headed over the line. at 3 minutes and 19 seconds. He's just sitting here, though, so I'm trying to work out... I'm suggesting they're not going to unload these, and that is them done.
Yeah, Shark Farmer's also heading out now as well with 3 minutes left on the clock. The warning just popping up there from Hamish. And they've also taken the same gamble and heading down the road as well.
And Mark saying 2 runs not possible as you can't sell the first. Modern logging, could you please sell your logs, please? They're going to do that. Now, I think you can. You can drive in, sell your logs, and then head back out. But there we go.
We'd have to have a discussion about that, actually, because at what point then do they say they're finished? Do they...
That's right. I guess it's the second time they cross the finish line, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Or if
they
they've
would
already
probably
sold...
need to flag that with Hamish as the ref.
Yes. Or if they've already sold a load, can they just say we're going till 10 minutes and we're going to try and get more in or not? Not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we? Just going under 2 minutes, and Shark Farmer's just turned the corner and heading across the start-finish line in just a second, or the finish line.
Okay, timer stops entirely after crossing the finish line, so you can't do 2 runs.
Right.
There we go. Thanks for clearing that up, Hamish.
And there we
Shark
go.
Farmer. Now, wow. There is a lot of logs on that, aren't there? That is impressive.
They have done a fantastic job.
Our current champions, our reigning champions, showing why they won Season 1 there. That is a very, very neat load of logs.
It was actually really nice watching them work. They were in sync, let's say. You could certainly see the teamwork coming to the fore there, and James and Shark Farmer are just going to get their logs sold. Wait for those to disappear, and then we'll be waiting for Hamish to... There we go, gone.
Gone.
Let us know how things go, but that was over before you knew it, that one.
It was indeed. So, yes, Modern Logging decided to go early, across the line with 3 minutes and 19 seconds left on the clock. Shark Farmer and the rest of the Pinnacle Loggers coming over the line at 1:37 left on the clock. So there will be no penalties here. So it's going to be purely down to who sold what.
Will be. We'll just wait and see there on
Interesting, though. Interesting tactics, though, there. People starting to get nervous now about penalties, I think, which was interesting.
So Calamaris has just made the point, would it not be better then to have one more trailer at the point as a pickup trailer? I mean, that's something we could, maybe discuss in the future if people thought there was an opportunity to get 2 loads done.
Yeah.
Could have a second trailer, second truck ready down at the wait point. You could come in and swap trucks. I don't know. That's certainly open to suggestions here on how we can improve it and make it better. To be honest, I'm a little bit surprised that they were able to fill a truck so well within that sort of 10-minute limit, but I don't think the Pinnacle Loggers would have had the chance to get down here, get that load sold, and go and get any more.
And get back. Yeah, there wasn't enough time to really load anything. Okay, results are in, Args. We're going
was nice and fast.
Straight off Discord rather than off the slides at the moment. So.
All right. I won't change that and look at that then.
Pinnacle Loggers, with 1:37 left on the clock, had a mighty $33,099 of wood on the trailer. So they are the winners. Modern Logging, with 3:22 left on the clock, only had $12,020 of logs. So coming in a bit early, I think, in hindsight, probably staying and loading up the trailer a little bit more and getting a little bit closer to the time limit would have been the wise thing to do there. But first of many rounds this season, so I'm sure they'll reset and they'll go again and take some learnings from that. Yeah,
that's an impressive amount of logs, though. 33 grand in a little under 9 minutes.
Astounding.
Very impressive. Yeah. Shows the benefit. Shows the benefit to cutting them to length as well.
It does. It does indeed. It does indeed.
I don't know whether I'll be giving away tactics here, but I had wondered about the idea, and I've seen this done before. You load a full log onto the truck and then use a chainsaw to cut it while it's on the truck, so you reduce the length. But you're only loading.
Oh, you're just giving them ideas now,
Wow.
Args.
I don't mind. Don't mind trying to sow some seeds of creativity in there, but I don't know if they have chainsaws. That might be the limiting factor.
That's true. They would have had to request those before the stream. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see if that becomes a thing in later rounds.
Yes, right. Let's just find where we're heading for match 3, which is right here in the center of the map.
Yes, indeed. We are.
In the first of our solo
here
matches, as we wait for the players to log in with us.
That's right, yeah. So Heat 3, Methy Boy, Samu CH, and James Sim, gaming with James, as you may know him from previous vlogging leagues. So they're going to be joining 1v1v1 this, so little bit of a different scenario. We've got to think about a few more things. So while they sink in, we'll wait and get them organised, and then we're good to go.
And $20, which is not going back to anyone. And some other stuff.
Yana with 10 gifted subs. Thank you very much, my friend. That is much appreciated. You are a gentleman.
Nice one.
Any of you guys who get gifted memberships, certainly on my channel, and the same on Args, I believe, you get access to play on things like the competitive server, which will be back.
It will be.
In the not too distant future, won't it, Args?
That's right. It will be. Definitely will be. Been doing some work on it over the last few days just to even a few things out, and we will certainly be having that back. Now, I just want to talk a little bit here as we look at the equipment. We've got a little bit of variance here with the trucks, which is interesting.
There is. We've got our front loader, as we've already seen, gaming with James, use that to great effect in the last round. Then we've got the grapple here in the middle, and she's back. The high lift.
The high
First
lift
time we've
is
seen
here.
it this season.
We've got that. Nice. I was more looking here at the trucks with Samu has chosen the truck with the grapple, the Palfinger grapple on the back of it, and a second trailer.
Oh,
so
interesting.
He doesn't have the longer articulated trucks. He's gone for the truck and trailer unit. So be interesting to see how this works for him, considering the time limits and he's having to do it all on his own. How that goes. It's nice to see someone thinking outside the box already.
That's right, isn't it? Yeah, and I'm assuming, based on the equipment we've got further up the road there, that he's not going to be using the grapple on the truck. He's just using those two smaller trailers, maybe for a little bit more agility.
Yeah, possibly.
Maybe to get around a little bit quicker. We shall see, but interesting tactic.
Yeah, we will.
Right, we're going straight away. We're under starters orders, Args.
Indeed we are. Right, just as we're waiting for that countdown, thank you, Carl Hobbs, for becoming a farm team member, and I see you've done the same on FSG's channel, so thank you very much for the memberships. Much
Carl
appreciated.
Hobbs, thank you very much, my friend.
Right, there we are. We are underway. So, all three heading off to the processing units. They all have exactly the same forestry harvesters here, so there's no speed or time advantages or any difference that we're going to see from this, but let's see where they all head.
Almost synchronized the way they split off there. Nobody's getting in anybody's way. Samu's just getting lined up with the first tree. Game with James just lining up as well. Who is going to make the first cut? I can't
Bit of a
see
race.
Methy, but there he is.
Samu has just got his tree down first. James not far behind. Methy's just struggling a little bit to get the processing head wrapped around this tree.
There you go. Samu nicely stacked first tree as well. And same for gaming with James.
Methy Boy's having some real issues with this tree. Now, I'm not sure whether this is the processing unit has a smaller head on it and can't take some of these bigger logs. He might be trying to cut down a tree that's too big.
Interesting. I did see gaming with James went for a large tree before, so I'm not sure if it was as big as that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long he's going to stick here with this and before he makes the decision to head off somewhere else, because looking in the background, Samu and James are certainly getting a good number of trees. And there we go, he's got it grabbed. And it's down, so...
That must be, like you say, Args, right on the limit of what that can handle,
yeah,
size-wise. Now, I've got to say, look at Samu's stack here. How neat is that? And Samu's got the grapple as well, so he's really taking his time to make sure that his pile is as neat as possible. We've got a little bit of a visual glitch on Samu's cutter as well here. Some floating trees there, but it doesn't seem to be impacting performance.
No, Methy Boy was exactly the same down here. It looked like the tree was hanging out of the grapple. Thank you, Ian, for those gifted memberships.
Gaming with James seems to be having the same issue. Oh no, he's got it now. I think they really are on the limit of what these can handle. Yeah,
it's always been an interesting tactic. I know that there is the different sizes and the different processing units, and they've kind of never gone for the bigger one, which I think from memory is the Rodney one is the biggest of the options.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to get much love for some reason, whatever reason it might be. Saying that, Methy Boy's having a real issue just trying to cut down a smaller tree down here at the moment too.
Again with James clearing, he's got some nice piles here as well.
I think Samu takes the cake with the neat pile at the moment. That is a lovely looking stack of logs.
Very nice. We're only 3 minutes in as well. So actually, interestingly, when you think about the volume that we were getting from some of the teams, these guys are doing very well solo. It's just how quickly they can get them loaded up and into the trailer.
Yeah, Methy Boy's having not a very much fun down here at the moment trying to get the second tree cut down. James is
Samu's having a few issues here as well.
Alright, well James is into his wheel loader. He's got the grapple open and going to go and start loading some logs up.
Almost like the cutting head isn't aligning properly. Samu's having a real issue here. Again. But he's got it, finally.
Alright, and there's James.
There's a little bit of a visual glitch again.
James has got his first trees in his grab. Just interesting to see what he does with this truck here, because he is working around on the track, so hopefully he doesn't disadvantage any of the other players. No, he's kind of been pretty courteous there.
I think he might have heard you. Oh no, he's looping around. Got that little tree in the way there, which is throwing an extra layer of challenging.
Coming fresh off the last team match, he's got a little bit of an advantage, really. He's kind of had a bit of a warm-up almost, so to speak, with his loading, so he's done a fantastic job there with that first one. And Samu's on his side. No, Samu has managed to tip his processing unit on the side, and he is making a mess of all those wonderful piles that he had. He's still carrying on with cutting the tree down though. He's getting it trimmed.
I like that.
Yeah, committed to the cause. He's gone full turtle mode.
Oh, look at that, 360.
Spun it over. As we get that 5-minute warning there. How much longer is he going to go? Looks like he's getting that out of the way. And is he going to jump up into his excavator? No, he's running up to grab his truck and bring that down. Just as James is going to get in the way here.
Methy Boy is still struggling with this head on this cutter. I think it's the branches of the trees that are maybe impacting the collisions on the branches on the trees are causing a few issues here.
Alright, well I'm just watching Samu here, and he is going straight to using the grapple on the truck. He's pulled up next to it, tabbed across into the control box, and looks like he's going to use that for his loading.
Well, I didn't expect that.
See how he goes. He's got 4 minutes on the timer, so I think we're going to need to be planning to leave here in about 2 minutes to be able to get to the sell point in time. We'll see how he goes. Got a good grab of logs there first up. 3 logs. Getting those pulled around and into the back of the truck.
Yeah, he's just got to get him past that first bar there.
Yeah, I think he's just going to accept that's hanging out the side and hope that he doesn't clip it on a tree on the way to the sell point. James, on the other hand, has got a very neat stack of logs down here, and we saw how big a load they got with the Pinnacle loggers previously. What's going to intrigue me there, I think those are the last of his logs. He's got 3 minutes on the timer. What's he going to do? Is he going to cut any more?
Boys.
Alright, there we go, 3 minute walking. I'm just watching James here and just seeing what his decision is going to be around whether he cuts down some more. He was kind of in two minds, but he's going to go and try and cut down another tree.
He was, wasn't he? And actually, I think that's almost one of those decisions you can make on the fly, because you could look over your contestants and your trailer's loaded, although Methy's about to get the trees that he managed to cut with those issues with his header on his cutter, but he's managed to get a few on here straight away. But that is all. Samu now starting to load the second trailer here.
Alright, 2 minute warning.
2 minutes, just 2 minutes left.
Yeah, James has got 3 more logs here, which looks like he's going to commit to loading before he heads off.
Yeah, it was about a minute and a half, wasn't it? From here, from a standing start to rolling over the finish line. So
yeah,
James is cutting it fine here, but I think if he gets this on quickly, he's going to do well. And Methy's away. Methy has decided enough is enough.
Yeah,
he did struggle with those. He did struggle with those trees in the header on his cutting tool, so he is away.
It's interesting because we didn't see any issues sort of around season 1. We didn't really have any issues with any cutting or anything like that. James is doing a full 180
Mike,
here. What's that? Sorry.
Your mic dropped out then.
I think we're having issues with Discord connection because I was losing you a little bit too.
Oh, James is going high. Methy is going low. 1 minute to go, Args.
Yes, we are. I'm not actually sure which sell point these guys are heading to either. Whether they're going, I think they're going over to the one by the gas station, the one we used first.
They are, and they're at this rate coming close together. Oh, James just ever so slightly in the lead here. This is going to be a run to the line, I think.
There's access just back out onto the main road here that they're about to head past. James is definitely taking. Methy Boy's going to follow. He is. Yeah. Alright, we're getting down to the last 30 seconds, in fact 20 seconds. And I only just got to go across the road, a little left or right, and they'll be in there. So it's going to be pretty tight. I'm getting here in time, but I think they've judged this pretty darn well. Count it down there at 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. James is...
Well, that is about as close as you could get.
And he's managed to roll his truck going across the finish line, but he was committed to getting there in time. Methy Boy at about 9 seconds, and we'll just have to wait and see where Samu comes through on the finish as well. Can't see him just yet.
Interesting. So there you go. Very close by both of them. They've timed that really, really well.
They did.
To get those as close as they did to the time limit. Impressive. Impressive stuff.
Now,
here comes the train as well.
Yeah. Summer was leaving, but I don't know if he had the best intentions on how to get out of the area. He's sort of going to head back through the town, so his penalty points that he's going to incur here are going to be quite sizable.
They are indeed. He's got just over a minute. And if he doesn't make it, unfortunately, it will be classed as a DNF.
Which, considering the advantage he had with the log cutting over Methy Boy, it was Methy Boy's decision to actually leave and finish, with very little penalties, could pay off and get him a second place in this one.
That's right. Yeah, and he had that grapple as well, didn't he? So choosing to go with the one on the truck rather than the grapple on the Volvo excavator. might be ruining that decision as well.
Just heading through the town now. Where are we at? He's got 20 seconds, so unfortunately I don't think he's going to make it back in time.
No, I don't think so. But again, I think first round, right, Args? And there's a whole season ahead for them to fine-tune and refine the way they approach this. So,
100%. Absolutely.
We shall see how things go. But we are at time limit, unfortunately. So that is our first DNF of the new season. And just by a few seconds, here he comes now.
Oh. He's just parking up at the gas station and getting a pie and a Coke or something like that.
Yeah. Right, we shall wait for the numbers to come in for that.
Indeed.
I think probably pretty straightforward, this one. I think we could probably assume that Game with James took that one based on the amount of logs he had compared to Methy Boy.
Yep.
But yeah, over the piece, probably Methy Boy grabbing second place there.
Yeah,
even though he didn't have many logs.
Yeah,
playing with the time limit has maybe given him an advantage.
I think so. But like I said, it's good to see some innovation coming through there from Samu. Might not have paid off the way he had hoped, but hopefully the teams will stick to doing some things like that and trying different things.
That's right. So, Hamish is just about to post the results in the chat here, and we'll relay them to you. Before we move on to round 4, which is another solo round, and will be Faban versus Modern Logging versus Genetic. Again, names I'm sure you recognise from Season 1.
Right, there are the results. So we have got James, as expected, took a 1.5 second penalty, which is $157, but still managed to sell $28,950 worth of logs. Methy Boy did come through there in second, $9,225 worth of logs with a $756 penalty. And unfortunately, Samu there did not get back within the 12-minute time limit, so he's officially recorded as a DNF. So James winning that quite comfortably from Methy Boy and Samu.
Yes, indeed. But nice to have a close run on the road there, I think. Because that kind of added a little something to it.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. And I think as the teams sort of figure out the best ways to do things, and the players for that matter figure out the best ways to do things, we will see hopefully some very tight and close matches.
Yes, indeed. Again, another hello to everyone who's watching, both on our stream and mine. Appreciate you spending your Saturday with us, or your Sunday morning if you're down under.
In the future.
Right, we are going to jump over. Our fourth and final staging point is just over here, up at the top corner of the map.
Yes, and we'll just have a look at our teams for this one. We've got Faban versus Modern Logging versus Genetic coming through here for the first one. So we've got Faban and Modern Logging here. I think we might just be waiting for Genetic to log himself into the game.
Indeed. Oh, interesting. We have got the same truck setup here for one of the players. I'm not sure who yet until we see them jump into them, but I can't see my Discord to see what they picked prior to the stream just now. So again, interesting tactic, and whether or not they will use the loader that's on the truck here, or they're just using the two trucks for maybe a little bit more better handling or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. Interesting tactic. Wonder if we'll see that one again in future episodes.
Yeah, I can see it being an option in teams where you can have someone who's just dedicated to loading and picking them straight up, but not sure about the rest of it.
Right, here are our three guys teed up, ready to go. I think Hamish is just getting them organised, and we will hit the button.
All right, starters orders, and we will be underway. It's this is going to be an interesting one to see where they all go as well, and figure out where we start logging. A little bit of a different area,
interesting one with the hotel just there, isn't it? So
it is.
They've got to decide what they do here. A lot of road, a lot of different directions to go, and even the way the equipment is placed is not ideal, is it?
No, but there we go. We're up and underway. So Fabana model logging.
First mover advantage.
Yep.
Cutting in front of the other two guys. Looks like he's going across the road here.
He's going to go and give himself a lot of space somewhere here. Really planned this out. Not a huge amount of trees. In fact, he's changing his mind here. He's heading back the other way. I think he realised that there wasn't a lot.
It's not the first time we've seen that tonight, have we?
No. He realised there wasn't actually that much to grab the one way he was looking, so he's turned around and heading back the other way. Genetics kind of still umming and ahhing about where to go, and modern logging's got some trees down, so let's see. Faban's going to go himself.
A little bit of
Carry on.
I was going to say a little bit of a disadvantage with genetic as well, because that loader, that excavator with the cutter on it, is a lot slower.
That's right, it is. Faban's working on the actual sealed roadway here, which is going to give him a bit of an advantage, I would expect, having a nice level working platform.
I'm not sure what's happening with traffic, but
it's a very good point. I did see that traffic was on earlier, but
yeah, not sure if it comes up here.
Not sure if it does either. Alright, traffic is off for all stages. Thank you, Hamish.
Right, okay, there we go. So yeah, opportunity here for Faban to take advantage of that nice smooth surface.
It's modern logging's going for some good length logs. He's got them set quite long. Genetic probably does as well, whereas I think Faban is gone for a slightly shorter log, which will be interesting. See how that all plays out in the long run.
And it will be interesting if they've done some research and they know what the best length to go with is, or again, it's that trade-off, isn't it? Do you spend the time cutting them to length and maybe it's a bit more of a challenge to get them loaded, or do you go with the longer logs, which you can fill the trailer with a lot quicker, and go for the volume play? We shall see.
Yeah, now Genetic's getting himself tangled up a little bit. He's got a very small tree which is kind of getting in the way, and he's managed to put some logs down on either side of that. Actually, as he was cutting to length, one of the logs bumped into it and flicked it onto the other side, so hopefully that doesn't impact him too much, but he's getting a good stack of logs.
This was kind of one of the reasons we kind of went back to using the environment rather than having a predetermined stage, wasn't it? Because there are a few little, random things that can be thrown in that can cause a few challenges, which is a nice another level, isn't it?
So yeah, it's a lot more variables, but it also gives the teams more flexibility to choose to go further away or closer or whatever they want to do, really. All right.
Yes, indeed. Modern logging's going for the grapple already. First mover on the grapple.
Yeah, interesting. He actually came from his truck. I think he must have tabbed through or something, but Genetics now going and grabbing his as well, which leaves Faban there with the forwarder. So these guys are working in quite close proximity to each other, so it'll be interesting to see where they park each other's trucks.
I'd say roughly the same amount of trees as well. They've cut down, so interesting to see where they will come out.
With 6.5 minutes still to go, so still plenty of time here for our teams. Barnes is definitely working away down here in isolation and getting himself a nice number of logs. It's just going to be proven to see whether his forwarder is going to work out in the better or the worse for him.
Yeah, no, definitely he's got more in terms of volume of trees cut. Modern logging and Genetic just manoeuvring their trucks into position now. Let's see how they get on. Both modern logging and Genetic pretty deft with the grapples. I remember from last year they know what they're doing. So
that's right.
Let's see how they get on. They're definitely harder. The grapple definitely harder with the longer logs. We've got to get it balanced to get it over the struts on the trailer.
This is some good length logs modern logging is going for. He's definitely filling up the full length of the truck there.
Yep. Faban moving his truck into position now too. Now, is he going to go for his grapple, or is he going to try and use the one on the truck again? Some impressive loading here from Modern Logging as well. He's just plucked one that wasn't quite right out and dropped it back onto the trailer.
Yep, and there we are, 5-minute warning. We're halfway through. Faban is using the loader on the truck.
Interesting. So we decided to ditch it for speed.
The forwarder then becomes an interesting choice as a backup, because I would have thought something like a high lift or a grapple to come in and be able to pick up 6, 7, 8 logs at once would have been a better opportunity there.
And just drop them onto that trailer, yeah.
Well, just to have it sitting there as a choice, but you never know. He's pretty adept. He's done a good job with his first couple of 4 logs, so let's see.
Things are really tight between Modern Logging and Genetic over here, Args. Modern Logging maybe just slightly ahead in terms of volume on the truck, but Genetic's just thrown 3 on in one go, so interesting. 4 minutes coming up to go.
Alright, now I'm just going to have a quick look at the map. They do have a little bit of a tricky route to get down, all the way down to the sell point down by the roller coaster. It's not a straight run down, so it'll be interesting to see what direction they choose to go in.
Impressed with the speed of loading of Faban here, gotta say.
You know, he's doing a good job.
Not hanging around, is he?
No. Three and a half minutes remaining. These guys over here, Modern Logging and Genetic, are quite a way through actually getting all their logs loaded. Modern Logging's only got a couple left. In fact, Genetic's only got a couple left as well. So again, are we going to see them choosing to cut down a few extra trees, or are they just going to gamble on what they have being enough to take the win?
Yes, indeed. Brett, you are correct. 6 meters is the most profitable. If you've got the time to fill a trailer with 6 meters, that is definitely the dream scenario. But equally, with the time against them, maybe going for volume, taking a slight hit on the actual profitability. And there we go, Modern Logging away.
He's off with that tree hanging over the edge. He didn't even bother trying to correct that. He's got one hanging down and dragging. Hopefully that's not going to cause him any issues. But he has headed off with just on 2.5 minutes remaining. Genetic, I think, is picking up the last of his logs that he has available. So I imagine we'll see him head off as well. Just struggling with one, trying to poke its way through the cab on the excavator.
Modern Logging, I think that log sent him a little bit awry there. He had a little bit of a spin out on the road, but he's recovered nicely. Oh, Modern Logging's rolled. Modern Logging has rolled. He is on his side, just at the entrance to the bridge here. I don't know what he's going to do here.
Is that the impact of that log hanging over the edge that's caused that?
I think it might have had an influence on it, because he's not particularly highly stacked. So, he's spinning around now. He's kept his foot planted. He's fully blocking the road here, actually, so if anybody else is heading down here, they may have an issue as well.
Alright, well, Genetic is still loading, and Faban is in the truck and off. He is heading down that way as well, so he's going to be the first one to come across Modern Logging. Of course, they'll have no idea this has happened unless they're in voice chat and keeping some sort of communications up, but Genetic's in his truck as well. And he is off. We've got just over a minute remaining, so I think we're going to see some penalties incurred here, and it's actually going to be interesting. I mean, we haven't really talked about it, but there's a potential to have 3 DNFs in a match. No one score any points.
There is. There is indeed. 1 minute warning left. Now, Modern Logging has unhitched and is flipping his truck as Faban arrives. So Faban cannot get through here, Args. Through no fault of Modern Logging, really just trying to get himself organised. He's blocked the way for Faban. He's very kindly getting out of the way as soon as he could there.
Right, well, Genetic's about to arrive on the scene as well.
And Faban is through here and now has taken the lead. And I would argue that whilst Modern Logging had more logs on, Faban's probably got a similar length a similar volume,
Hmm.
but is packing the 6 meter logs. He's nearly flipped his trailer as well. Faban nearly rolling his trailer as well on the other bridge.
And we're seeing a split here. Genetic is taking the track down. I think he is either going to go for the river run or possibly jumping across and using the river crossing. Just a reminder there,
South
South Point.
Yeah.
Yep. So now Genetic has taken he's not using the river, he's gone across and using the sort of 4-wheel drive forestry tracks to try and get down here. Sort of cutting the corner off this in quite a big way because we are over time. We're into penalty time now. 20 seconds already gone. This is going to be tight for either of these two making it to the final. Looking in the background, looks like Modern Logging unfortunately has given up on trying to get that truck back uprighted, but let's just see what happens here.
I'm following Faban here. Faban will definitely get to the sell point with time to spare, but only just, Args.
Yeah.
He's running into the town now. I think he's probably going to have maybe 30 seconds left on the clock
Genetics.
by the time he rolls in.
Yeah, Genetics heading in from the other direction. I think he will be very close as well. He's actually going to possibly get caught out having to wait for the train for a second here. Just turned around the corner. The train is going across the crossing. How quickly do the barrier arms go up? Oh, they still haven't gone up.
Faban nearly rolled his trailer again, but he was conscious of that this time. And Faban crosses 1:20 penalty for Faban, but he is first over the line.
Right.
And I can see Genetic coming.
Yes, so Genetic had a little bit of a delay with the train. He had to sort of sneak between the barrier arms, but he is going to get there just in time. I'm going to have about a minute 40.
Yeah.
About a minute 40.
1:41 it looked like. So both finished. That's the first time I think we've seen two teams finish outside the time limit, but still very close. So this could go either way because their loads are very, very similar. I think in volume, this could be the tightest one we've seen tonight.
It could be, particularly when you count the penalties that are going to be occurred here.
That's right.
So Modern Logging.
Irish Connor, nice to see you, mate. Thanks for joining.
Modern Logging has very quickly logged out of the server. Probably a little bit disappointed because I think he was probably in the box seat there. So some of that time pressure, potential time pressures that could have come with trying to get down here in time might have led him to being a little bit more reckless than he might have needed to be, considering how advanced he was. But Genetic has sold his logs, just waiting for Faban to head on over and get his done, and then we'll have Hamish giving us the summary on who's won, what the final numbers have turned out to be.
Yes, indeed. I need to roll forward again for the rear trailer. No, he's got them all off.
All in one
Right,
go.
we'll wait just that couple of minutes to get the results ratified. This is going to be a close one, I think, Args.
Again, yes, I agree. I think it is going to be very tight. Whether that 15 seconds of extra time that Genetic took to get here, that's $1,500, that could be the difference.
Yes, it is indeed. Right, I'm going to switch to my intermission screen and I'll quickly log out. We're going to log into second server now.
That's right.
Rather than resetting everything, we are going to jump straight into a second server and go from there. So while we're doing that, we shall wait for the results as well from Args.
Yep. Oh, Hamish.
Oh, Hamish, not Args. You're Args.
I'm Args. You're FSG. Hamish is the one who's done all the work.
Yes, indeed he has.
Right.
So,
Logging League 2.
there we go.
Log in here. Get those results through. Farmer Hamish is typing in Discord, so we will see these in just 1 second. These are the ones I'm actually most anticipating.
Coming up.
I think the first ones were probably a little bit obvious who had won the first 3 matches, but this one's a little bit different.
It is a lot tighter, isn't it?
Now the next 4 matches follow the same 4 courses. We're going to start back in where match 1 was. That's match 5. Match 6 is back on the other side, 7 in the middle, and 8 up the top. So basically the same cycle that we just did.
Yes, indeed. So, just while I get my logging league gear on.
He's gotta look the part. All right.
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh my goodness me.
Do you want to?
This is tight.
This is incredibly tight.
So Faban obviously crossing the line with a 1 minute 21.2 penalty and was carrying $13,968 of wood. So with the penalty applied, his final score was $5,842. Genetic coming in 20 seconds later, but had more logs on. So he had $16,003 of logs on, took a slightly bigger penalty, and has come in with $5,829 adjusted. So close. So close. We're looking at $13 being the difference there. Unbelievable.
That's ridiculous. So Faban does take the win out there by $13, and I think I'm going to take that as a very good justification that our penalties, the way we have the penalties set up, has actually worked out really, really well. That's an incredible result. It's incredibly tight. And unfortunately, modern logging, of course, having that DNF coming through there as well.
And I tell you, if modern logging had not had that issue, I think that would have been a very tight three-way result there. It really would have been.
Absolutely. That's very cool though. That's great to see one that comes through and has such a difference. Could the train have? But the train, I reckon the time that Genetic lost, having to slow down and wait for the train, was the difference.
Yeah. That absolutely would have been, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Literally, the penalty difference is only it's a second. It's $100 a second. So
yeah, so it would have been a win.
Would have been. All right. Well, we are in server number 2, and we're getting geared up to get back into some team matches. And the first one, match number 5, we're going to see Meisters, who we saw in the very first match, coming up against Astron Entertainment.
Guys from Astron, yep. But Calamaris standing here already, waiting to start. He's got a very fetching Logging League polo shirt on there, and some cool shades, and a very nice cowboy hat. And sponsors on the back.
Tobias from the Meisters is suitably attired on the other side as well.
Loving that. Rocking the Logging League hat. He's gone for the health and safety gear.
Meanwhile, Faban's just come from the beach.
Faban's on holiday.
Good one.
Right, I'll just wait for the rest of the guys just to get into position, and we will get started. Beg your pardon, Saran. Thank you for highlighting that. We'll go and have a look at Calamaris again now. You can actually see him rather than looking at my ugly mug. There we go. Beautiful Logging League t-shirt with our very generous sponsors, Thrustmaster and G-Portal, on the back. And Tobias over here is rocking the Logging League baseball cap. And as Argsy said, Faban just ready for the beach.
Indeed.
And here's Bauer as well. Bauer Matsy's here.
Yes.
Ready to go as well.
Mated in.
So I think we're all in position.
It does. I just looked on the map and I can see a couple of dots up where the trucks are, up at the sawmill. So they will be having to run pretty much diagonally across the whole map, out as far away as possible, to get down to here. But we'll leave it in Hamish's capable hands to kick us off, and we'll get into match number 5.
Yes, indeed. And Args again. Interesting choices of equipment here.
Yeah, again, we've got modern logging, Meisters, running the forwarder, and we see the high lift coming into action for the first time.
So it's going to be interesting to see. That is the only means of loading. Are they going to use the forwarder, or are they going to load it straight from the ground onto the truck and just take advantage of that grapple that's on the forwarder?
That's right.
Rather than using the actual loading of the capacity of the forwarder. We shall see.
We will. Now, Baumatzi just asked in chat if I could get a team photo of them before they start, so we've just very quickly done that.
Right, starters orders. We are under from Hamish.
Yes, ready to go.
Countdown is on.
This is very quick. 3, 2, 1, and go. We are off back into the very next match.
There we go. A little bit of a delay. Bauer getting into his equipment, but he's away. Faban choosing to go across the road here. That's interesting. We haven't seen that before.
No, it's a different tactic from what we had on the early match. Now, of course, they had the advantage, actually, the Meisters. They played on this in the very first match. They're in exactly the same spot. They'll have a better idea on timing and duration and things like that. So whether that will give them an advantage or not, we will see. But we've got Baumatzi is heading in and getting the first tree cut down for Team Astron. Right, seems to be just struggling a little bit there with grabbing those. Just have to make sure, hopefully they have all the permissions correctly attributed to them to be able to get started.
Faban having an issue with this cutting head again. We're seeing it again, Args. This is proving to be a bit of a challenge. So let's see what happens. It is the small branches on some of these trees lower down that get in the way of the cutter head.
Yep.
Not letting it get around the tree. That is what the challenge is. So let's see how they resolve this.
We are a minute through already and we don't even have a tree. Don't have permissions. I did wonder if that could have been the case. Right.
Okay. Reset.
Reset and restart, I think, would be the fairest decision here.
It looks like the guys have not cut anything on this side as well. So I wonder if the best thing to do here is do a reset.
I think so. Time has been paused. Hamish has paused the time. Whether he's just going to... Yep, no, he's calling a reset. So we'll just have to wait for things to get back where they are. The trucks are almost here. I don't think we need to worry about letting them go all the way back. We could start them where they are. Get things sorted out here. This is one of the difficulties. We've always talked about. Farming Simulator League and comparing this to how that works. And they have a client built to do this. We're trying to do this all in game with multiplayer and permissions and all of those kind of things. So
we don't have the luxury that the guys have. So
no, to make the best of what we can.
So we'll get the guys reset. Luckily enough, nobody cut anything down there. So
land's not owned, Hamish. The land is not owned by anyone.
So the permissions are good, but the land is not owned. So we'll fix that.
There we go. We've just broken the world investment record by adding $999,999,999 into our account.
Only it was real money.
If only. Even better is it must be more than that because the money's not going down as things are being purchased either. We'll just get through this again. Just these teething issues, right? Here we go. Hamish has got that sorted. The trucks are on their way. The trucks are actually heading all the way back, so we'll let them get back up to the sawmill. And then we'll be able to restart again. Just want to wait for the trucks there, Hamish, and let them get to an equal position.
Bale coin. It's like Bitcoin. I like it ultra zippy. Right. I think we're just about ready. Let's just double check the trucks.
Yep, almost back.
See them just moving back there. There we go. We might have to buy a few more bits of land just to make sure that we cover that off. That be fine.
We'll pick that up as time progresses.
Right. Teams are ready here.
Trucks are just pulling in. I've got one truck backing in. The second one is just heading into the shop now. onto the sawmill area now. So we'll be getting back underway in just a few moments. But thank you everyone, I know it's very hard to interact with the chat, so again thank you to everyone who is tuning in and catching the first round of Season 2 of Logging League. It's a pleasure to have you all here across both our streams. Make sure you've, if you haven't already, dropped a thumbs up, and if you want to get the best experience, try and have both streams running side by side, mute one, and you'll be able to catch action from a couple of different angles.
Yep, well said, Args. Well said. Yes, thank you all for joining. It is very much appreciated.
And we've just lost Bauer Metzi.
And Bauer's had to log out. Oh dear. Connection issues for Bauer, so we'll just wait for him to rejoin. And it will be all systems go.
What do they call it? A technical intermission.
Yes. We need some elevator music, don't we?
I've actually been running that in the background the whole time.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I decided I'd try it again.
Very organised.
Here
comes Bauer. He is back.
I'll probably find that I've got a copyright sound or something playing. Do you know I had Epidemic Sound, who you and I both use a lot of Epidemic Sound music? They commented on one of my videos the other day.
Did they? There you go.
With the name of the title of the track and saying, thank you for supporting them. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
There you go. Nice. Iceberg, thank you. Excited to see Season 2 of the League. Good to have you here, buddy. Right.
Nice one. Welcome,
Hamish is saying okay in the chat. Bovine's just joined as well. Nice to see you, buddy. Thank you for joining, mate. 3, 2, 1. We're off.
Right. Take 2.
Seconds out. Round. Take 2, yes.
Match 5, take 2. This is the Meisters. Faban, Tobias, and Schiffelmeister coming up against Astron Entertainment, which is Bauer Metzi, Calamaris, and Major Malone. Hamish going through there buying a bit more land, but has got what we need done for this. And let's just make sure we're going to see some trees getting cut down any moment now. There we go. Faban has the first one.
The first tree.
Unsurprising, no change in tactics. The Meisters have headed over the road and doing what they were going to do, and Metzi's pulling out a very, very tall tree, just watching that fall out of the skyline there. It's a decent length.
And what are they choosing? They're going for, looks like 6 meters.
Taking the optimum length.
The Astron guys.
So what's going to be interesting for me is whether the Meisters can make the forwarder work this time around. Obviously they tried it in the first round, didn't quite work as well as they could have, but I wonder if that's why they've gone over the road and they're using the sort of more level area.
Yeah.
To be able to be easier to pick up logs and stack logs and work in.
Bauer's in 2 minds as to what tree he takes next. He's pushed through a little bit further and is just trying to make a decision here. Calamaris has the full load in the high lift up.
That's the benefit of that thing, isn't it?
Carrying those round. Oh, it's phenomenal. Yeah. Just in terms of volume you can carry. You can load a truck in two grapples if you've got a decent pile. It should take no time at all.
Yeah. Now we've got just interesting, just commenting on this while we watch Metzi cut down a tree in there. Bauer Metzi, he's entered in solo this season as well. We'll see him a little bit later on.
We'll see him later on.
Yeah, solo match. Now, that's the train heading along in the background. I'm not sure just where the trucks are. In fact, I can see the 2 trucks are just coming across the bridge side by side. So it's been a bit of a drag race so far for them.
Calamaris working well here to get the piles really nicely lined up.
Oh,
when the truck arrives.
Major Melon cut the Schiffelmeister off at the apex of the corner coming up the road. They're both heading up there pretty much line astern. No big advantage.
Clearly watching the Bahrain Grand Prix this afternoon.
Yes.
There is Major Malone just arriving.
Yeah, and Schiffelmeister very close behind. Yeah, I got caught out with the Formula 1 being, well, actually by qualifying yesterday. I was like, hang on, that's a day early.
Yes. Thrown it. Right. Tobias had 2 logs standing, waiting, ready to go. So Schiffelmeister just drove directly underneath him, and he's actually positioned himself really well here. Oh, too many logs in. Oh dear, it's collapsed underneath him. Oh, he had 4 logs perfectly ready to drop onto the truck, and it all fell apart.
Well, you should see the teamwork happening over here with Astron. Calamaris picked up a huge grab of logs, and as soon as he lifted it up and backed up, Major Melon was reversing in underneath his grapple, and they've dropped those logs straight in the back of the truck. So I've clearly been rehearsing a little bit of teamwork there, figuring out the best way to try and get things loaded up. It's nice to see.
Yeah. And Tobias is resolving the issue he had there now, just one by one picking the stuff up and getting it over. That would have been frustrating.
Yeah. Now the other beauty of using the high lift is the ability to rotate that grapple on it through 90 degrees, so you can approach a load of logs, a stack of logs from a different angle and try and pick them up a slightly different way. It doesn't have to be square on, which is exactly what we've just watched Calamaris do there.
Again, Tobias struggling to lift more than maybe one at a time. A couple at best, I think, is all you can do with the forwarder grapple. But been doing a pretty good job. It is hard though. This is hard compared to loading them into the containers. There's another level of complexity to this.
So just coming up on halfway through the 5-minute mark, we'll get a warning soon for the teams. And these guys are just going about their business quite nicely, and I think Calamaris is doing a pretty good job working with Major Melon on getting the truck loaded.
I think Tobias slightly struggling here with the fact he's not on a completely flat surface, so when the grapple's going down, it's not grabbing the entire log the whole time.
Alright, well, Major Melon's had an interesting little issue there where a log's got caught completely up in the grapple. It's stuck in there.
I can see it up at the top, yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't fall out when he undid the load, so not sure what he's going to do here for that.
Schiffelmeister and Tobias moving to a different position here.
Oh, Major Melon had to react very quickly to avoid a collision. Next to Schiffelmeister.
So with 4 minutes left on the clock, Bauer, Matzi going for another cut there. And if we pan back to here, Tobias working with that forwarder grapple to get some more logs onto the trailer. Faban is working hard here as well to get as many trees as possible cut down. I can't tell who's got the most logs. It's pretty close again, Args. Pretty close again.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's quite a hard one to call at the moment. Calamaris has finally managed to weasel that log loose, the one that was stuck. Has a few more up in there. We're coming down to just on 3.5 minutes, or just under 3.5 minutes remaining.
So we'll be going again to the Stell point up by the fuel station, so they've got to drive through the town, back up towards the other end of the map.
Calamaris has thrown logs everywhere, not one of that grapple went into the back, and that's the disadvantage sometimes of this high lift. With the containers, it was, you just had to point the log into the back and it'd get picked up, whereas with this, you've kind of got to have them really well loaded in and nice and straight before you drop them into the top of the trailer. So let's see if we can get these ones in.
Right, decision made. Schiffelmeister's away. Meisters have made a run for it. They had more logs on the ground and they could have taken more logs. They chose not to.
Alright, Major Melon is off as well. He has raced down the side of the hill. He's got logs hanging all over the place here. I'm seeing a little bit of that as well. Hopefully he doesn't roll. No, he's got out on the road, but the logs are dancing on the back of the trailer. I haven't seen that before. We've got
disco logs here as well. Yeah. But they are strapped down, so they shouldn't go anywhere.
No.
Shouldn't cause any major issues. I think it's just a server issue.
Are they well stacked? Are they just sliding around?
They are
the back?
pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, they're not perfect. but they seem to be doing their thing.
Right, well,
Actually, as I've zoomed in closer, Args, they seem to be behaving a little bit more. But
all right, you sound.
that's us, just under our 2 minutes warning.
I think the server might have just refreshed itself a little bit, because certainly the ones on Major Melon's truck are now behaving a lot better too. There's only about 300-400 meters between trucks here, so they're not too far behind each other.
So again, we could be looking at volume being the deciding factor here. Now,
I would think so. With a minute and a half left on the time, I'm pretty certain both teams will make it to the finish line without any penalties, so it will come down purely to a case of who has the most wood on the back of their truck.
Now, interestingly, the Logmeisters went for shorter. I think they've gone for 6 meters.
That is interesting.
So there's going to value-wise, it could be worth more to them than the longer logs that the Astron guys have gone. But we shall wait and see.
We will.
It is going to be close, this one.
We're just coming down on a minute to go. Looks like Meisters about to turn down the road towards the final destination. And
Yes, indeed.
Major Melon is not too far behind at all.
And Meister crosses the B, but around about 40 seconds before the timer runs down completely.
Major Melon is just turning down now. Hopefully he takes a little bit of pace off the truck he has. And coming through with about 20 seconds left, I would imagine. Here we go.
That's an impressive load. Look at that. That is showboating over the line. That is impressive. Love that. He crosses the line. 21 seconds left on the clock. Meister's hiding in plain sight. He's tucked himself into the landscaping there.
That's right.
We'll get these guys to sell these loads now, and we'll get things sorted.
We will.
Get a bit of super strength on that, boys. You'll be able to write it. That's fine. Post game. So Logmeister's selling theirs just now.
Alright, I think Farmer Hamish is going to come in and take control of the situation.
Super strength that back onto its wheels. Obviously, they crossed the finish line, so no issues with delays or anything here. We just need to sell those logs now. So we'll get them done, and then we'll see what the results are.
Alright, there we go. So back up on all fours.
I mean, in terms of professional stacking, I'm going to say nothing. But hey, if it fits, it ships, right?
That's right. Major Melon's going to get across there and get those sold. Now, FarmSim Tim, who's just popped into chat, who made the conservation agriculture mod that I reviewed a wee while ago. He's also made a logging mod, forestry helper mod, which is pretty cool, which came out at the same time. But he was just saying that the game grants the maximum length bonus for anything between 6 to 11 meters. But the longer the logs are, the higher chance of being slightly crooked. That's why 6 meters is the better log to use. So if you're cutting a nice straight piece of wood, 11 meters is actually not going to penalize you too much. So thank you, Tim. Thank you for that little bit of information.
Yeah. Good bit of insight there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mark Haythornthwaite, as well, for your sarcasm in the chat. I will bank that one for another time.
Are you getting picked on for once instead of me?
Yeah, well, it does make a change. You've had it. You've had it tight the last few weeks, haven't you?
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Hamish is typing already. So let's just have a look here and see what comes through.
Yeah. Here we go.
And just talking about next in a match, heat number 6 is going to be another teams match in Modern Logging versus Power Team Esports. But there we go. Results are in, and of course, no penalties from either team. It has come down purely to who sold the most wood, and Logmeisters coming through $16,339 worth of wood have been pipped at the post by Astron. Well, actually, it's not really pipped at the post, $22,917. So purely on profit, Astron have sold almost 50% more than the Logmeisters did. So quite a big victory there from Astron.
That's interesting, because actually, on the face of it, visually, I would have suggested that log-wise there didn't look to be too much of a difference, but again, to Farm Sim Tim's point just there, actually the longer logs, if they're straight logs, limited penalty for
That's right.
in there. So
Yeah.
there we go.
100%. All right.
The longer logs paying dividends there.
That's it. Now, we're not have too far to move to the next one, just up the hill, and I can already see.
That's right.
I jump back to our match screen. You already see the teams sort of dancing around here. We've got the 2 from Power Team Esports and 2 from Modern Logging.
There we go.
And I can also see 2 little player markers up near the trucks. So I think thank you, gentlemen, or thank you, players, for progressing into the next match so quickly and being all ready to go. It's going to be a good one. Don't have to listen to us dribbling on in between matches too much.
Indeed, filling time.
Is that how they say it in the industry? Filling time, right?
Yeah, let's just fill for a few minutes.
We might just have had a last minute equipment change. Not sure what was going on there, but just make sure we've got super strength turned off as well. We will disable that.
Right, there we go. Model logging, bringing in that bigger harvester.
Right.
And I think that's model logging ready to go. Power Team Esports. The second match. Well, both of them for the second match.
Both of them for the second one, yes, that's right. Of course, Power Team Esports coming off the back of a victory. Modern Logging lost their match to Pinnacle Loggers first up, so sort of opposite ends of the table right at the very minute, but interesting to see. We'll just let Kigarino sign in, and then we'll be under Hamish's starters orders.
Yes, indeed. Scooter's saying he's waiting for an FSG Argsy logging wrap off. It could be a long time till we see that.
You can start it. Alright, we've just got a few players logging in, which is good. They'll be in here ready for the next match.
They will indeed. Oh, excuse me, yawning here. It's been a long couple of weeks.
I was going to say you've had a busy few weeks, haven't you?
Yes, indeed. But glad to be back. It's amazing how when you don't have time to play or you're away, how much you actually miss it. So I was really looking forward to coming back for this tonight. It's been great.
Nice. And I suppose we'll be able to get into some Aussie farms again tonight.
Yes, indeed, sir.
Or in the morning for you.
Yep, we will. Right, looks like our players are in position. Hamish is here, so keep an eye open for that countdown in the chat, and we'll be good to go.
We will be. We've got Oblix and Valo from Power Team Esports here, Modern Logging and Colby from the Modern Logging team. Jumping around, ready to go. Wait for Hamish to get things all lined up. Now, just apologies if I disappear for a second in the middle of this match. I've got my someone picking my son up soon, so I might just have to pop out and say hello to them very briefly.
All good. I will fill.
Dribble. And we're off. It's starting underway. Immediately into their equipment and immediately splitting off. Looks to be in different directions. Velo has turned basically a full 180. Modern Logging actually is just backing straight up and finding the closest tree to get in there and cut down. And that is a pretty tall piece of wood. Yeah, and I've got to say, I'd like to see Power Team Esports using that Rotney harvester. Yeah. Kigarino made a comment in chat that it was something to do with the arm on it wasn't as extendable or flexible as the Komatsu harvester, which is interesting.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've done their research, haven't they? So
they have. Yep, you don't become Season 1 champions without knowing what you're talking about. So Colby's already sitting there ready to get picked up. Oblix is he's just surveying the land, figuring out maybe where they want to park the truck. Valo's pulling out another log, getting ready to cut that down to length as well.
Modern logging just clearing the ground here, getting rid of a tiny tree just so we can get some of the bigger ones behind it.
It's a clever tactic, actually. I'm just going to wait
Certainly,
here.
certainly better than getting them in the way.
I was just trying to see if I could see our trucks anywhere. They must be almost here, are they? Yes. Both trucks are actually come up the hill, and Jeremy's kind of pulled off to the side near his team, and Slowpoke is just climbing up there with Colby ready to load straight into the back.
So monologuing deciding to go for long logs here. Looks like Power Team Esports have gone for the shorter 6 metre. So again, still 2 tactics, still 2 trains of thought on which is the best solution in terms of length of log. And I think we've seen arguments for both tonight, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Monologue has left that log hanging out a very long way out the back. I think Slowpoke had gone just a little bit too far forward for them to be loading into. But look at the number of logs Obelix has in that grapple. Be interesting to see how many of those he can actually get safely dropped down into the back of the truck. He's being very cautious with the speed of release, and he's actually done a fantastic job. It wasn't just full open grapple.
Just that last one.
Which he's actually unhooked very well, so it's a valuable log. I would suggest that would be a good one to pick up, but he's going to go and try and get 4 or 5 at once instead of wasting time just on a single log.
Colby's sorting out that overhanging log there at the back, so...
There we go. Just a reminder there that we're heading to the south sail point, which is the one down on the edge of the river, not the one immediately below us. Velo's, interestingly enough, crossed the track, and he's come over to the same side as modern logging.
Saw that, yeah. Interesting, spied a tree that he thought was probably beneficial.
We haven't seen too much of that sort of competition for trees or anything. We haven't seen anyone trying to be a disruptor.
We haven't. Another good load here from Obelix. That single log, though, that you mentioned before, Args, just kind of getting in the way ever so slightly. Jeremy's moving slightly to accommodate Obelix, but this is, if he can get this in neatly, it's going to be a decent load. And it looks quite good. Is it all going to go in? Jeremy just giving him a helping hand there. Oh, one is off. Oh. Right, these two here, I think.
Working very well together.
Indeed, indeed. And I've just come back over here after a little bit of a look at the other guys, and Colby looks to have had a few issues here with these logs, but he's fixing it just now.
Yeah, they're hanging off the back a little bit, which is unbalancing things just a touch for them, but Power Team Esports, actually, Velo is clear felling the forest, and he's going a long way now. He's targeted a log right over the little stream, or a tree there, sorry. Long way away. And he's gone to grab, and I guess he'll pull it right back over. As we watch Obelix here trying to get another grapple in, we are coming up on 5 minutes to go, almost halfway through.
Half distance, and there's some good piles of logs on trucks already here. I think it's probably the best we've seen at the halfway point.
Yeah. Oh, look at this way that Obelix has got this
pitched
from
Obelix. Oh, is he gonna? Can he? If you can get this, if you can nail this one, this is going to be a huge step forward for them.
Yeah. Oh, he's just turned there, let it go now. Well done.
Look at that.
Great work.
Smashed it.
Unfortunately,
he's boxed in there.
yeah, but there you go, some communication. Jeremy gets out of the way.
Again, back over to modern logging. This is a load, an impressive load with a longer length of log here. So let's see what happens now.
Yeah, we're certainly seeing a bit of difference.
For the same type of logs. There's a pile of grey logs here. I don't remember the names of them off the top of my head. It's spruce, but he's definitely going for the brown ones. I think they're higher value, aren't they?
To be honest, mate, I cannot remember. I do know that there's a difference.
I can't either.
But not off the top of my head. Right, 4 minutes to go. Well, I think we're going to see a couple of really good loads of logs coming out of here. This is going to come down to value. I think we're close enough to the sell point that timing-wise, they've got a good number of logs loaded. They're both going to feel confident to be running down there and selling without having to try and squeeze out the last few seconds of time. Colby's just quietly gone about his business loading this truck. I've kind of, been watching the rapid growth of the load that Power Team Esports have, but Colby's just gone about his business, and this is going to be interesting. Yeah,
doing a great job. This is going to be very tight indeed.
I agree.
I was going to say, it's a Power Team Esports load is pretty spectacular too. Now they've got have they got a slightly smaller trailer? Have they got the same size trailers?
I believe they're the same size trailers. Yep.
Yeah.
Keep on drain out of battery. First world problems, Hamish. Alright, so that'll be our warnings coming. We're coming up on 3 minutes. There we go. Hamish has given the 3-minute warning to the teams. That one disadvantage is, unless they're running their own timers independently, is there's no way they can have a timer on the screen like we have for you for the viewers. They are purely going off Hamish's information.
Right, looks like Modern Logging are away. They've decided enough is enough. Although
is he stuck on a stump?
Slowpoke is stuck. Slowpoke is stuck. Now this is the challenge with the triple axle rear truck. It just if the weight is off, you can get, and he is stuck.
He's on a big rock
here.
Yeah, there we go.
He's been battered off by Modern Logging though.
That's alright. All equipment is leased.
A few seconds there.
All equipment is leased and returned in an as-is condition. It looks like Jeremy has also left. I didn't see him sneak out. Perhaps he went off down to the bottom.
Out the other entrance. Now, one thing we've seen tonight is a few flips on the roads. If you're not careful going around these corners, these are not the best when it comes to taking corners at pace. So
that's right. Look at that.
2 minutes left.
Tightness. They're both coming out on the road pretty much line astern.
Yeah.
And yeah, interesting.
Loads here.
It is 2 very good loads, and it's going to be interesting to see how the difference between the 2 length of logs plays out with the final income, because I don't think we're going to see any penalties. We've got a minute and a half left, and they're just about on the sell point now. Alright. I will be back in just 1 second. I'll let you call out the final little pieces here as they get across the finish lines.
No worries, Args. Now, Power Team Esports, for me, on the face of it, look like they have more logs on their truck. But we know that they've gone for slightly shorter logs compared to Modern Logging. So let's see. Modern Logging crossing the beam at 103. With Power Team Esports coming in just behind them, I think probably a 6-second difference. So, in terms of penalties, there are none. So it's purely down to who sold the most. Let's see how we go here. So Modern Logging first over the sell point, so they're going to sell straight away. And then I can't see those numbers either, but there we go. Power Team Esports guys moving into position. I think that's safe to say it's probably the biggest load we've seen of the night so far. So let's see what the guys have done. Could this be a second win for the Power Team Esports team? We'll wait for those to be calculated by Hamish in the background. Next game up is going to be Samu versus Modern Logging versus Gaming with James, or James Sim. So we are going back to solos again after this. 2 more rounds to go, and that will be us for the first round. So we'll just wait for Hamish. We have had a 1 withdrawal tonight, so the last solo game will be just a 1v1 scenario, but that's totally fine. We can still make that work. But Hamish is typing in Discord at the moment, so I'll be able to relay these to you in future episodes or future rounds. We will have the scoreboards back up. We had a little bit of an issue with the scoreboards tonight, so we'll make that better. But whilst the guys are dropping from the server, making space for the new people, Here we go. Power Team Esports. Coming in with 57 seconds left on the clock. Had a total of $31,439 on their truck. And Modern Logging crossing the line just a few seconds ahead of them at 1:02 left on the clock. Were carrying $26,188 of logs. So with that in mind, Power Team Esports take the win with the larger volume on their truck. Good volume of wood from both teams, though. That's fantastic. So great round that. Very, very well played by both of them. No issues. Just got around. They got on with their work very, very well.
Sorry about that.
That is Argsy back. Welcome back, mate.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the results here. So yeah, good load of logs. I heard you saying very big numbers. Indeed. Just scrolling back up. Pinnacle Logging got $33,000 earlier on, but that's still $31,026. Very impressive.
That is good loads from both teams there. Yeah, and that was probably the slickest operation from both teams on the same. On the same game that we've seen so far.
Yeah, and Power Team Esports will be very happy to be walking away with 2 wins from today. That is a great result for them.
2 wins out of 2, yeah. Right. We'll let the final few players log in for the last 2 solo rounds.
Yes. Yep, 2 to go.
Get those put to bed, and you can go about the rest of your day, evening, afternoon. I think we might have a bit of a change. I think Bauer Matzi is going to be replaced by Kegarino in the final heat. Maybe we shall see.
Oh, right. You picking that up on Discord, eh?
Oh, I see Kegarino saying it's actually me, FSG, in the chat. But yes, Bauer's had to drop from the solos, so
right.
Might be a 1v1, or it might just be a.
Well, Kegarino was going to take
head-to-head.
Kegarino was going to take James's position, wasn't he? But to have a match, so maybe James
for round 7.
Yeah, James might stay in his spot in round 7, and then Kegarino take Bowers round 8 position. Anyhow.
It looks like Keg's lined up here for round 7, but maybe James can drop in and take Bowers' place in 8. We'll let Hamish sort it out in the background because he's not got enough to do. But our guys are here. Modern Logging, Keg and Samuel are all ready to go. Hamish is here. Equipment is sitting ready to go. So
right.
I think we're not far away from starting round 7 here.
Exciting. Things are progressing very nicely.
Here we go. Under starters orders. What fascinates me is how quickly they get their head around the challenge. And, that last round was so slick.
Yeah. That was working very well. You could see the communication coming through from Power Team Esports with the way they were loading. Colby just going about his business there. It's just, it's very interesting. It's exciting to see them adapting to the different mode of game.
Yes, indeed.
I don't know about what you say, but I think the variability of the trailers and having the sell points has added just that little bit more excitement, and the time limit too.
The time limit is definitely, I think, working. Definitely, I think it's been interesting. It's been interesting, and I like the speed. If we can just narrow the gaps between games down,
that's right.
The speed of turnaround, we can get a lot of games done as well, which is good.
Yep.
Keeps the people entertained.
That's right.
Right, Modern Logging started. First log done. Samu over the other side. Same position. Keg trimming his first log as well. Although he's sitting across the road here, which there's enough space for trucks to get around, but...
He's also adjusted his log length first cut, so he cut the first one a bit shorter. And he's tweaked that to take a slightly longer load. And of course, the containers were limited. I think 6 meters into a container was the optimum, whereas here, obviously, he was talking about the maximum length between the 6 and 8 meters, 6 and 11 meters. Gives everyone a lot more flexibility, particularly because the trucks will take those longer loads as well.
That's right. That's right.
Now I'm
Modern logging
intrigued.
working at some pace here.
I'm intrigued to see Samu's approach. He's tried the truck loading methodology a couple of times. It worked for him in that second game because of the failure of modern logging, the crash their modern logging had. So it'll be interesting to see how they adapt here, whether he goes for the same technique or whether he might go and use the grapples on the Volvo loader, whichever one he has.
That's right. Yeah. And interesting, I've just that grapple seems to be a lot more will handle a lot more logs, so I can imagine it being the quicker route. We shall see.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
There's obviously some thinking going into it. So let's see if it translates into a result. Got to give a big shout out to Kjelland for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you very much, my friend. That is very kind of you.
Nicely done. Yeah, Kikarino's just going about. He's pulled up into the trees a little bit further, so he's left a bit more space now on the road for trucks to get through. So looking at our time, we are a quarter of the way through, just on that 7.5 minutes, and I'm seeing Kieg is out of his processing unit, out of his tree harvester, and he is jumping into the Volvo loader, and it looks like he's going to go and start getting some trees loaded.
He's gone early. Now, modern logging has got a fantastic pile of logs here. He does, however, have an interesting stone here, which may impact, I don't know, maneuverability or something. He's decided to stop as well. He's getting stuck into his truck. So everybody's starting to think about loading here. Keg's got an entire tree ready.
He's done a great job picking up that first load. I wonder now, with the change in the tactics, with the time and all that sort of thing, how much people are going to react to seeing others going and starting to load.
Yeah.
Previously it was all about trying to fill your container, so you had to get a certain volume of trees cut down. This is more about trying to get as many trees as you can within a time frame. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see what happens. Keg's got his first few logs on. He's got 1 or 2 that haven't gone down into the middle of the trailer, which he's trying to rectify. He's also got a little tree behind him, which isn't making things as easy for manoeuvring.
Well, modern logging has just started loading, and he is going at some pace, Args. He's a bit of a master with this grapple anyway, so...
yeah, he is one of those, isn't he?
It's pretty good.
Meanwhile, Samu's sort of playing. He's still got 6 minutes. We're only just sort of 4 minutes in. He's taking down a lot more logs. His pile's not as neat as some of the others. But as I say that, he has headed up towards his truck. He's going to go and grab his truck, which says to me that he's going to persevere with using the truck as his loading methodology, but we'll just wait and see what happens when he gets down here.
Interesting. Well, I'm watching modern logging here. Not had it all his own way, but he's getting a good amount of logs on here. Now, the challenge with modern logging is he's about to finish loading his truck. A couple more good loads and he will be done, and he will be still sitting at just half time. So does he go for another couple of trees, or does he just go for it on the time?
Well, it'll be interesting to see. Now, Samu is persevering with loading his truck here with the grapple on the back.
Okay.
And he's done a pretty good job picking up his first 3 logs. That's a very tidy effort.
Oh, I can see it just off to the corner of my screen. Yeah, very nice. Now, it's worth saying there's no bonus or no benefit to getting to sell point too early either, is there, Args? You don't earn extra points for dropping off your logs early. So again, it is a real fine balance between how much do you load up without getting a penalty versus arriving 3 minutes early and feeling like you've missed out on the opportunity to get another tree or 2. And now modern logging back into his cutter. I think he's going to go for another tree. With 4 minutes left, I think he's going to go for 1 more tree.
I think that's a sensible choice. Yeah, it is an interesting conundrum to have, because obviously you want to be finishing bang on 10 minutes, using that whole 10 minutes to be cutting, loading and delivering, not getting there with a heap of extra time. But the penalties are such, you don't want to be too far past that 10 minutes if you can avoid it, because that extra log you put on might be worth $500 and suddenly you've got $1,000 worth of penalties before you know it.
That's right.
And of course, the vagaries as well, you know, that's not an equal distance to any of the delivery points depending on what course you're playing on. So from here to the sell point is going to take a certain amount of time, but from one of the other areas might be a little bit different. So the time you decide and say, that's it, I'm loaded, I'm out, will vary depending on where you're playing from.
Well, I will say Args, modern logging has almost faultless run. He is in his truck. I think he's going to go now with 3 minutes on the clock. He's out of here.
Gone.
He is gone. Now they're going up to the upper sell point near the fuel station. And there you go. There's Hamish with a 3-minute warning. So Monlogan has got time here. He's not going to make the same mistake he did last time. He's going to drive more cautiously, I think.
Which will be interesting actually, because I know that the best way to get to the north sell point, the fuel one, is not the way he's gone. In fact, Kigarino is also, even though he's got some logs sitting on the ground, he's jumped into his truck and he is on the way out. You see his, not the neatest load, he's got logs hanging out left, right and just about centre. But he's on his way down there as well, so I'm just going to hang out here with Samu for a little bit and let Kegs go and do his thing.
No worries. Monologuing out onto the bottom road now, driving very cautiously around the corners after last time. Alright, 2 minutes to go, and Samu's still here loading. He's doing a great job loading. If we were giving points for neatness, he'd be our champion. But train's just passed as well, Arg, so it's not going to have any impact, I don't think, with either monologuing or Keg.
Right. And so we're in this interesting point. Samu's basically... he's in his truck, he's loaded, he's off. He's got, there'd be, what is there, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, there's 9 logs he hasn't actually loaded. Oh, and he just about rolled his trailer. So while he's going to make it out in time, he's certainly not going to be profiteering as much as the others are, so. Right,
I'm having a little bit of a bounce on the server here.
Alright, that's me as well, so I'm assuming that's
crossing higher up. I'm just rushing up here to make sure I get Keg as he crosses the finish line, because Keg's definitely taking the shorter route here and will be crossing the finish line just about now with a minute to go on the clock. But Keg taking a different route, as even though he left later than modern logging, has arrived a good amount of time ahead of him. Modern logging coming up the hill here.
I'll tell you what, Samu might go very close to beating him too. Alright, just see modern logging going across the T intersection, but he's certainly, considering how much longer he left before these guys, has definitely taken the longer route to get to the sell point. But we're coming down with 30 seconds to go. I think Samu's judged this pretty perfectly from a timing perspective. I just hate to say it, but I think his methodology
as well.
His methodology for loading might not have paid off for him, but crossing the line through there, that's pretty good. 15 seconds, 16 seconds left. So now it is going to come down purely to who has cut and loaded the most. And I think it's going to be another tight one.
It is indeed, and I genuinely think modern logging might have just snatched this one, because he has a serious amount on his trailer.
Well, it's just whether that extra tree you cut down too could be the difference. You know, he took the time to go and cut down one more and load it, so we'll just have to wait and see what he comes through with. There, his load sold. Kigarino through next, and we'll have Samu following as well. Kex did very well to get that truck down safely. Calculate. Yes, no penalties to calculate.
He did. So yeah, with no penalties to calculate, we should get the results relatively quickly. There we go. Keg sold.
Gotta say, I do like the look of that truck that Samu uses, that man setup. It's a nice combination. Nice to bring some variety too, but unfortunately, I just don't think he's managing to get the logs on that he would like to. But so we'll have to wheel load on the main road. Oh no. Let's have a look if we can spot where that is. There it is there, I can see it.
We'll move that. Thank you, Modern. Now, Hamish has just pointed out, although there are no bonuses for arriving within time, or certainly, there's no benefit to arriving 3 minutes early to the sell point compared to bang on the 10 minutes. There are bonus points. There is a single bonus point that can be added to the tally for the season.
Yes.
If you finish within the 10 minutes. So all three of the guys here getting their bonus point.
Yep. I'll be back in just a second again. Sorry.
No worries, Args. So we'll just wait for the results here. It looks like Hamish is already typing, so that is good. My gut tells me it's going to be Modern Logging, followed by Kegarino, followed finally by Samu, but we shall wait for the official results to drop in before we jump over for our last game. How long does this go for, Curtis? You've got one more round, mate. You've got another 10-minute round, and then you can go clean your house, buddy. But I appreciate you hanging out with us. That's very kind of you. Much appreciated. Right, here we go. Results are in. Modern Logging coming over the line with 25 seconds to spare. $24,000, 447. Which brings him in first place. Kegarino coming in, minute left on the clock. $18,306, bringing him in second place, and Samu bringing up the rear, $14,581. So really close, actually, in terms of volume compared to Keg. Not far behind him at all, into third place. So, congratulations, guys. Good round all round there. Curtis, when is the next one? We try to do one once a month. We might do one at the end of March, actually, we started a bit later. This should have been the February round, but due to holidays, family stuff, trips away, all manner of stuff, we're a little bit late. So there will be one at the end of March, but then we're trying to do them monthly.
Yep.
But there we go. Modern Logging, Args.
Yes, I just saw the results. Did come through there with the victory, which is very nice to see. Good on him. Congratulations to them all. But again, like you said, some good numbers coming through there. Some impressive loads being done in less than 10 minutes.
So, the final round. Not bad. We've got through this in just over 2 hours. One of the feedback pieces from last time was that it was quite long. Some of the rounds. So one of the things we aimed for was to try and get things closed up a little bit quicker, which is good. Now this is a 1v1. I think at the moment, Coelho and DJ Bob. Now, look what's here. The Hannibal. First time we've seen that.
All right. Yes. Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Interesting choice.
Understart orders, and we're off straight away. No messing from Hamish. He was properly organised here.
Yeah. So, Coelho is a new member to the teams. So nice to have him here in the solo. Sorry.
He's managed to dupe himself as well. Look at him.
I was just thinking.
Cheerleader.
I was just thinking that. Is he cheating by having two or not?
We'll let him off.
Yeah, we will.
But to have the Hannibal out, nobody has ever selected this.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice.
This is a first for Logging League, so nice to see another vehicle. DJ Bob must have been paying attention before as well, because he looks like he's taking Baban's approach and he's out on the road loading things up. Coelho just trying to get things lined up to get started. He's got his first log, or his first tree cut. One of the nice things about the Hannibal is you can hold it high up in the air and move it to wherever you want before you trim it, which is good. So nice to see that working.
Yeah, always nice to see some different options, different innovations. We'll see how it works. And of course, two of the grapples as well. Sorry, the front loaders, the high lift and then the Volvo loader there. So
that's right.
A bit of a variety.
DJ Bob onto his second tree here, and he's got a nice pile sitting on the road here.
Thank you, Hanson.
DJ Bob, who came in a little bit later in season 1, didn't he? So
He did.
Nice to see him back for round 2.
Yeah, and he certainly took a couple of goes to get up to speed, but I think he certainly challenged some of the others quite seriously as he got his feet under him.
He did, and he must have been bitten by the bug because he came back for more.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to see. And it's good to see some new players as well. Callow here, being a first-timer in the logging league.
That's right. And here we're seeing the benefit of the Hannibal. So he's managed to carry that tree to where he wants to before dropping it, which will allow him to have some very neat piles of logs. That's a big tree as well he's got here. Huge. There's some weight in that. There he goes. Excellent stuff, right.
Has the blade on the back
and
of
again,
it too.
I think
Push logs up as well.
Yeah, and Coelho's got the high lift, so he can lift a large volume of trees with that as well. So this is quite impressive.
I'm gonna say I love just looking across and seeing a tree just tumble out of the skyline.
It's my first time since the last round of Logging League I've been back on Silver. I'm just reminding myself what a fantastic map is.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is going to be a tight round. The guys are doing well here.
They are. Just coming up on, 6.5 minutes to go?
Now I'm starting to realise why Bauer had to pull out. You'd think he maybe saw the competition he was up against.
Possibly. DJ Bob's going off to grab his truck. He is going to go and start getting loaded. Obviously, take the time now, as we saw modern logging in the last match. Get your trees loaded, get your logs into the back of a truck, and if you've got time, you can then always jump back down, cut down some more trees, and make a little bit more. But there's no point leaving logs on the ground.
That's right. Now, Coelho's blocked the road on this side. I was just wondering what DJ Bob was going to do, but he has tactically just decided to steer clear completely. It's not much of a round trip for him to loop round the other side. He's not going to lose any time doing that, so he's just erring on the side of caution there.
Yes.
Coelho is definitely going for the meaty trees here. He's picking the big ones. He's definitely got a tactic here.
It is. It's a clever one. It's a bit of a downside to that is how slow it is, of course, being a tracked harvester. But like you say, just watching him drag that tree out, holding it up vertically, getting it to a position he doesn't have any issues dragging it through. He can get it exactly where he wants it before he tips it down and then starts cutting it to length. So
yeah, and I have to say, we don't know anything about Coelho. He's not played before. He is completely new to this. So obviously we've seen some of the tactics from the other guys before, but he seems to know very much what he's doing. He seems very comfortable in this.
He does.
Look at those piles. They're really neat.
Alright, so we are at the 5-minute warning. DJ Bob is over here in his wheel loader, trying to get the first of his logs loaded. Struggled a little bit there. He hasn't positioned his truck in a very helpful position, to be honest. Having to drive quite some distance from where he picked the logs up to then go and dump into his truck.
Coelho's into his truck now as well. Args, he's just moving over into position and getting sorted to start loading up.
It does show there's some real benefit to thinking about where you load things, thinking about where you park your equipment to be able to do it, because I think Bob's probably cost him potentially 10 seconds of time on each grapple he has just to drive to where he has to.
That's right. Keith Whittock in the chat saying it's nice to see some new ideas. It surely is, Keith. Surely
100%.
is. And shout out Kjelland again with another 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, buddy. That is very kind of you. Right, let's see if Coelho's got as much of a grasp as impressive as he was in the Hannibal. It's all about how quickly he can load up this truck now with a high lift, and he's about to grab almost half of his logs in one go, and it looks like a pretty neat pile as well.
Well, DJ Bob's got a couple of logs already in at the back of his trailer. He's just getting in now with another 3. He's struggling a little bit to grab the logs as neatly as he possibly could, but he's not doing too bad a job. Just coming up on 3 minutes to go, so these guys have probably timed it quite well with when they've started loading. They wouldn't have wanted to cut it any finer. Just have to remind myself which sell point we're heading to. The one down the very bottom, down by the river.
I've got to say again, at Coelho, the size of the logs that Coelho's cut down are colossal. There's some serious money in this. If you can get all these onto the trailer, I think Bob's going to be up against it.
Yeah, Bob's got some good sized trees here, but it's just, I think his tidiness, while he's used the road very well, his stacks weren't the tidiest, which has made it a bit harder for the grapple, for the wheel loader to pick up. But he's doing a good job of it. He's got them all in the truck. There's none hanging over the side yet, so he's not going to have any issues with catching a log on a tree or anything like that. And he doesn't have too many left to pick up.
Getting it all his own way here. Oh, that's just dropped in nicely though. So with 2 minutes 10 left on the clock, Coelho's going to go for everything he's cut. I think maybe he's going to miss one small one, but I don't think...
Bob's in his truck. He's strapped his logs and he is off. He's not going to grab the rest of the logs. He's got 3 or 4 that he hasn't taken, but he is moving, heading down towards the sell point now. I'll follow him.
Okay. Good stuff. Coelho's just dropped the last of his logs in. There we go. Nicely done. These loads are similar in size, very similar in size, Args. This could be very, very tight.
It'll be interesting because he's left himself a minute and a half. Is that going to be enough time to get down to the bottom?
Indeed. Let's see. Now, this is the run that Modern Logging managed to flip his truck on as he came over the bridge, so let's see what happens. But I have to say, for a newcomer, very impressed.
He will be sending some warning shots out to some of the other competitors, I imagine.
He will. He will indeed. He's taken it easy on the turn there. Nice wide turn. He's used the whole road. Oh, that's the racing line if ever I've seen it. And he still nearly flips it, but he was in control enough to be able to rectify it.
Alright, DJ Bob is getting down to the train tracks. He's turning right and heading down towards town. He's given himself 38 seconds from this point to get to the sell point, so just mindful we do still have a wheel loader on the bridge. But he should be able to get past that without any dramas.
This is going to be tight. 27 seconds left.
I think Bob's timed it very well. Even so, I think he's going to struggle to get there in time, but I think he's going to definitely get there first, and this could come down to penalties.
So Coelho's going to slow right down there. Again, lovely driving.
Alright, and there we are. We're into the penalty time. Bob's just turned around the last corner and is driving down towards the finish line. We're just going to get a time on him as he goes through, just on 10 seconds, 11, 12, and stopping the clock at about 13 seconds. So he will take a little bit of a penalty, but Coelho's definitely going to have a slightly larger one, and that could be the difference. Taking the time to load those extra few logs could be the difference between the two. Bob's decision to leave some on the ground could pay off here.
And I think he's going to be in around about 40 seconds. How he handles this last corner, probably a little bit more actually. He's at 40 seconds already there, and he's still a good 5 or 6 away.
We'll get a take on where he crosses the finish line. We're just ticking over 50 seconds now. 51, 52, 53. So he's taken about 40 seconds more penalties, which equates to about $4,000 over Bob.
Look at the amount of logs on the trail.
That's an impressive load. I hadn't seen what he finished up with. That is looking very, very good.
Well, this could still be tight, although the penalties are higher. So that extra wood on the trailer, he may have to hope that all of that compensates for the amount of penalties he's going to get. But let's see.
Right, that's his load.
Let's see.
Sold.
I certainly think he may get the prize for the largest load of the night. Sure.
Definitely for the solos. And obviously the innovation for using the Hannibal too. So
yes. And I wonder if there's a lot of people watching now thinking, okay, mental note for that one.
Yeah, that's an option. All right, Bob is out, and we'll just see him sell his. And there we go. We're gone. We'll now wait for Hamish to give us the final summary on how these guys all went.
Right, interesting. I'm excited to see the results for this one. Coelho definitely with more logs on the trailer, but a good 30 plus seconds of penalties over and above DJ Bob. So let's see.
Real benefit there.
What the final. Bug devil. That's what she said.
Right. We are typing. We'll wait and see what Hamish writes for us in just a second.
You can take this one away, Args.
All right. Seeing I've managed to, do you want to run away and go and hide somewhere for it? I'll leave me to do it.
Excuse me, we're back in a minute.
Yeah. I was telling you beforehand about our car troubles we had around last night, and we'll get to that in just a second. Right. Callow finishing with 53 seconds on the clock. He has sold $28,000 worth of logs, took a $5,300 penalty to end up with $22,854 overall. Like you said, that was an impressive load. Bob, 13 seconds over time, had $13,800 worth of logs, took a $13,000 penalty to end up with $12,500. So, Callow is our winner there by about $10,000.
Congratulations, Callow.
It's a fantastic first up result for him, and certainly does. I think that sounds some alarm bells. I'd be interested just looking back through some of our other solos. Modern Logging had 24,000, so would have been a close match between them. And a little bit earlier on, from the same map, we had Fabana Genetic only ended up with $5,800, so they would have lost to both Callow and Bob in that one. So interesting times.
Interesting. Indeed. That's going to shape up for the next round.
Certainly will. Wow.
And nice to see how much DJ Bob's developed as well over the close season.
Yeah,
he was looking sharp there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yep. No, you got some good numbers. It's a good effort for him, particularly considering he had to wait around till the 8th round to have a go. So thank you, mate, for hanging around. Same with Callow, actually.
Yeah, indeed.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes, indeed.
Some of the others play in teams as well, so waiting for a solo is not quite so bad.
That's right. So, there we go, Args.
Yeah.
Round one done.
Round one is in the bag.
Some interesting things to think about there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to round two already to see where the teams take things, where the players take things, and how they mix things up. Of course,
that's right.
Round two is not going to be on this map either, so anything I've learnt today with travel distances, log selections, anything like that is completely out the window. They're going to be given a new map sometime in the next week to have some time to spend researching. But equipment might come into play more.
It may indeed. Yeah, there's certainly some learnings from equipment tonight. I do think Coelho's just maybe opened up a can of worms by using a completely different piece of equipment there. And I wonder if some of the guys were watching and thinking, mental note for next time.
Yeah, good choice. Right.
Oh,
I think that's us done. 2.5 hours. A few teething issues to start with, and a little bit in there between. But 8 rounds. I'm pretty happy with how that's all gone, and looking forward to seeing what comes in the future.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Professor saying that was fun. Love the new format. That's great to hear.
Nice one.
And obviously, let Argsy and myself know either over Discord or in the comments what you think about it, and we will try and accommodate any feedback and tweak things as we go along. I think for one thing, I think having these timed runs definitely helps keep things moving at a better pace. So
for sure.
No, I'm pretty chuffed with how that went, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you all. Yeah, thank you all of you who've tuned in and watched across both streams. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you to all the teams and the solo players for persevering and hanging with us. I know it was a little bit of a rough start with some of the organisation this week being a little bit last minute, but we'll certainly be looking to improve on that for the rounds going forward. So I hope you stick with us for that. Thank you, Hamish.
Yes, indeed.
Big shout out to Hamish for all his hard work.
Yep. And to Mark for the timer. Fantastic job.
Yes.
And thanks to you, Args. Appreciate you hanging out.
Yeah, that's always good. It's good, particularly after a few weeks when we haven't really had a chat. So
that's right.
Been a while.
Right. So,
well,
okay.
On that note,
thank you, everyone. If you haven't left a like yet, if you could do it on the way out, we would both very much appreciate that. And we will be back at the end of March for round 2.
Yes.
You can
absolutely.
find the results from round 1 on the
Discord, Logging League
Discord.
website.
Thank you. That's the thing.
Where do you want
Discord
to put it?
and the Logging League website.
We'll get Yoss to sort the website out. Yep.
Yeah, we'll get those updated for you, so you can go and check and see. You will be able to see. Obviously, round 1 is the league table at the moment as well. But as the further rounds go in, you'll see who's leading the charge. And we will see you again at the end of March.
Indeed, you will. Right. Thank you, mate. Everyone else, take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll catch you again soon.
Thanks, Args. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
See you again. Bye-bye. Who is going to get their first tree? Truck a little bit closer as well. Oh, but we've had a terrible accident here.
Got a loader on its side.
Look at that. A bit of teamwork there. Do here, Args. Do they go for the smaller trees for volume, or do they go and find another big tree a little bit further away?
GTR God is God. He's rolled his truck. No, he hasn't. Oh, that was close. He clipped a stump on the way out. He was at 40 degrees to horizontal.